that. That's Trey Trimble, baby. God, the fucking microphone peaked. Yeah. My God, with this fucking sound. I'll tell you something in a minute when we start. God damn it, Maverick.
Shut your goddamn whore mouth.
I can't help but be racist. It's true.
You.
What's up, fellas? How are you? Listen, good to see you, Jaffe. Hang on. Come on now. Pause that. Good to see everybody. Thank you for joining me for the Gabbin&Games. I appreciate it. I know it's late. Where you are on the East Coast. Hell, try being Ricardo Estevez, or should I say Richardo Estevez. It has been a very busy last couple of days. On the Gabbin&Games, and I appreciate you dealing with my crazy schedule. But we have a very big week coming up. We have a big show coming up right now. We have obviously the PlayStation showcase kicking off tomorrow. Is that kicking off tomorrow at 11 or 1? I don't fucking know, but we're going to have a little bit of a pre-show. Then we're going to have a little bit of a post-show, of course, and then we're going to watch it all together. We'll be streaming it tomorrow. Then we have Cliff Bleszinski coming on the show Saturday. I'll give you the time. I think it's 1 o'clock. So that's happening this weekend. We'll be talking about Gears of War. That's happening. That's for Cult Calypso members, mods, and higher, and a bunch of other shit we're doing. So somebody is Awesome Tatum says Bolt Gun is out. We'll talk about Bolt Gun in just a minute. Oh my God, Alex S says he is at the movies right now watching Fast X starting in a few minutes. I'll tell you what, man. Not that I love those movies. Those movies are certainly somewhat review proof. But these current reviews don't even make it sound fun. So I hope that the reviews are wrong, just like I hope they're wrong on Indiana Jones. But let's put it this way. If you had told 12-year-old me that I would actually be toying with the idea of waiting for Indiana Jones to come to home video, or at the time it would have been home video, now it would be streaming, that 10 to 12-year-old would have fucking shot you in the fucking head. Are you out of your fucking mind? I'm just telling you. Ricardo, who is not only our producer, but he's been a member for 22 goddamn months. He says, hey, look at that, 22 months. Have a great show, everybody. Enjoy it. And tomorrow, PS Showcase, baby. You goddamn right. Don't forget, the chat voted on what they think is going to be there tomorrow. Speaking of breaking news, you may have seen this. Jez Corden, who is right a lot more often than Jez Corden is wrong. If Jez Corden is right, I don't want to, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I would have believed that past one, Indiana Jones 1. But come on now. The reviews are terrible. Crystal Skull was terrible. Benji Martinez, hey buddy, he's been a Cult Calypso member for 31 months. He says, hey, look at that, your mom. Well, my mom is a corpse. You ever think about your dead parents? You're probably too young. If you have parents who are dead, and both my mom and dad are dead, and I love them, I don't say this disrespectfully. I probably said this to them when they were alive. This is nothing awful and morbid and weird and all that shit. And maybe it is, but it isn't to me. But I think about them decomposing. My mom died about, I do. There goes Rob. Rip that into a soundbite. I think about my dead parents decomposing underground. How can you not? Don't lie and say you don't. If you do. Because my dad died 10 years ago. My mom died about 6 years ago, 5 years ago. Do I wonder if they're, starting, not starting, are they done? Is everything, do I think about there was some moment when I was probably washing dishes, doing a stream, designing a game where bugs were eating my father's eyeballs? Of course I think about these things. And you do too, don't lie. Jerry A says, Jaffe, you're worth your weight in gold. Jaffe, keep up the toxic work. Oh, fuck you, motherfucker. I appreciate it, Jerry. 26 months as a diet soda soldier. Man Cave wants you to know he's been a member for 7 months too. Thank you, buddy. He says, hit that like button, you old fluff sticks. Come on now. I agree. Love the stream. Make love to it. I got a little turned on there for a minute. Listen, no, they did not get cremated. I will, but my parents were not, Ghetto God says, I've never thought about my parents decomposing under the ground, but now I am. I understand. Because it's really fucking, it's kind of fascinating, man.
I wish my fucking foot would go right through your skull.
It's true. Okay. The Zeke says, Jaffe, I checked the NASDAQ. Your stock is rising as a toxic asset. There were two things. We're going to get to this show, I swear to God. Ricardo says focus. I know, but I got to tell you two things real quick. So right before the stream went live, fuck you, Spaz. Spaz is like an annoying Jiminy Cricket. Your microphone's spiking. Now he's saying nice echo on the soundboard. God damn it. Listen, no, Andrea Renee is not watching the stream. Because right before the show went live, I saw that GamesBeat has their kind of every couple of months show or something. And right now on that show, Andrea Renee is hosting a panel about the future of the industry. Yeah, okay. Okay. It is what it is. So that's what's happening there. And then the other tangent I wanted to go off on briefly was I already forgot it. So fucking hello, Water Princess. All right, Ricardo's not wrong though. Let's focus. Here we go. Did I miss any? I don't want to miss any super chats. Because that would be mean to people in the world. They would hit me. Yeah, because Benji Martinez kicked us off and he fucked everything up. Everybody blame. Yeah, she would know. I know. Hello, Wallace Shawn. Oh my God. Shh. Here we go. You did not miss the co-op talk. Listen to this. Jez Corden comes on the Twitter today. Hey, come on!
How dare you?
Listen to me. That is the incredibly generous, the blind one. I can't focus. He's gifted. My God, man, that's generous, blind one. 5 membership subs to this very channel. PG got one, Zeke got one, Bacon Magma got one, Michael Leonard got one, R.L. Stein got one of the great R.L. Stein books. The guy, he actually wrote a couple of series, doesn't matter. Anyway, thank you for that, buddy. That's disturbingly, wonderfully generous, the blind one. Very, very kind, bud. All right, let us focus. Now, Jez Corden, who's usually right, I actually talked to him about coming on the show. We had a nice little chat a couple of weeks ago, actually. He may very well. He says this, though. He tweets out, I can confirm independently that Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake is real, and it is coming to Xbox and PC as well as PlayStation. So everybody is kind of assuming that we will see Metal Gear 3 tomorrow. Let's put it, imagine if we don't see this tomorrow after all the talk about Konami and Castlevania and Silent Hill, which we know is real, and this fucking thing, Metal Gear 3. And then let's just say it doesn't show up no one sees it at Keeley's show. No one sees it at the showcase tomorrow. No one sees it at Xbox. It's like, enough. At that point, anybody who tells you anything but me, just call him a fucking liar. But this is pretty good news. Metal Gear Remake Apparently, Sony's not making it from what I hear, obviously, because it's coming to Xbox as well as PC. I don't know if it's just an up-res or if it's a full-on remake, but that's exciting to have that almost confirmed. We all kind of know that. I do think we'll be seeing it tomorrow. I'm a little bummed it's not Metal Gear 1, but it is what it is. That's pretty fucking good news. It does kind of run counter to Ricardo. I get this guy's name wrong because I'm only getting to know his work. There's a reporter Ricardo turned me on to who does video game journalism, and he tweeted out recently. He reiterated that Konami has a 12-month exclusive with Sony for Metal Gear, Silent Hill, and Castlevania. So, you know, it's possible they're both right. It's possible this will drop and they'll reveal it tomorrow and it will be a console exclusive for a while. And then after a year, it'll go to Xbox. Another great reason to, you know, tell Jim Ryan, it's like, look, buddy, you can stop lying now. You exclusive motherfucker. All he does is exclusives, and then he mocks them in public. Spasbo says it better not be an up-res. Metal Gear is already playable on Xbox with the HD collection. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea what it's going to be. But it's kind of interesting. Because if it's, let's think about this, man. If it's not an up-res, then someone had to be creative with it, right? If it's not an up-res, which means it's the same game and they just made it look prettier, like Gears of War, what is that thing called? Ultimate or whatever. If it's an actual remake, then someone had to get creative with the goddamn thing. Hang on, that's my boy calling. Hello, Calvin. You are on the show. What's up? Just tell them we got an email. There's a package. Show them my ID. Tell them Mom and I both have an account there for the PO box, and they need to give you the stuff. And tell them you'll cut them if they don't. Okay, love you, bud. Bye. That is, you know, it's so nice. That is Colin Moriarty and his cohorts over at Last Stand Media sent me a whole new sound kit because they're scared of Spasbo. They're like, that boy's always telling you your mic is peaking. And they said, let me just send you the mics we use. And I said, you don't have to do that. And Colin's like, nah, fuck it. Let's do it. You're on our show enough that, so that's the mic coming. So hopefully by tomorrow's show, we'll have new mic. They're good people over there, no matter what certain journalists will tell you. But I appreciate that. It's very generous. Absolutely. All right, Avoid the Void. Good to see you, buddy. But anyway, yeah. So if it is just an up-res, fine. But at the same time, though, yeah, who do they have running creative? It's not like they brought Kojima back and said, hey, let's bury the hatchet like you have the fucking time to bury the hatchet. You know, and come do creative work. So someone's guiding it, which is interesting. I wonder if they'll be able to do an interesting job. Okay, sorry, fellas, but I am getting the mic, and that's what's going on. So I apologize. We will get to the co-op in a minute. Hang on. Is Kojima going to consult? No one has said that. I cannot imagine that. I mean, can you fucking imagine? That would be amazing. Now, that would be a hell of a story if they brought Kojima back and he actually agreed to do consulting on it. But I would be really surprised by that. But anyway, and will it have multiplayer? Did Metal Gear 3 ever have multiplayer? Think about this, though. You're right. Orly says Konami has been contracting outside of devs for their games, outside devs. So, look, man. I am a little on the fence right now about Silent Hill 2 Remake. I don't know if we'll see it tomorrow, but I'm on the fence as it relates to the quality of it. I spent about an hour playing the demo of Layers of Fear, which is from the same team. Those guys have not had a great game since the first Layers of Fear, in my opinion. And so if Konami, unless they surprise us for the first time in a very long time, I don't expect a great deal from the remake of Silent Hill 2, but that's just based on record. It doesn't mean it won't be amazing. Point being is that if you're right and Konami is kind of outsourcing to teams at that level, I don't know. I don't know if I trust him to give the remake. The up-res, yeah. The remake, I don't know. Bloober Team is hit or miss, as awesome. I think lately they've been more miss. I think I was willing to give them another shot with Layers of Fear, the collection. And I'm still going to get it because it wasn't awful, but it was just like, they claim to be this company that really wants to be the Blumhouse of horror, but they walk the walk. They have the production value for it, but they don't seem to really understand what's scary and what's interesting. A Cab says, I think the Bloober Team has passion, and under Konami's supervision, they might make something special. What supervision? What fucking supervision? I mean, when has Konami ever done anything that didn't come from a couple of their key guys that have already left a long time ago? It's not like Konami has their own version of Miyamoto. And again, maybe there is somebody who is capable of that they're thinking of, and we just don't know who they are. Okay. But anyway, there you go. This is going to be announced. It sounds like very, very soon. I'm excited. We will see. So somebody is saying Metal Gear 3. Yeah, so Spasmo says Metal Gear 3 had multiplayer on PS2 release. It's weird. I don't even remember that. It was PS2, so I guess you needed the network adapter maybe, and that's why it just never crossed my brain. I don't fucking know. But that's cool. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. Jaffe, why didn't you like the medium from Blooper, whatever the fuck they're called? I hope it's not because it was a representation of mental illness was problematic. Well, I didn't get far enough. I played about 4 hours of it, honestly, and I actually had somebody from that team reach out to me and say, no, Jaffe, you're fucking right. Which is that it was very sloppy, right? And so it could have been a great game. I don't know. I know there are people who have issues with how they handled mental illness, and I know you're kind of joking about the Good Doctor shit, but ultimately, though, I was playing it and I couldn't find things, and the character walks too slow, and the visual cue for the things that are interactive was so faint, and you had to be so close, and it's just all kinds of things like that were just really bad quality of life things that built until I just said, fuck this, I'm not playing this anymore. When remakes are the highlight of your show, says Aaron, that's a problem. Yeah, you're not wrong, but let's be fair. It's only the highlight of the show right now before the show because we haven't seen anything else. So we know about what we know about, which is we know Metal Gear, right? We know the stuff we love. We don't know the stuff we will love. So I get it, but I think maybe your statement will hold a lot more water if it turns out that tomorrow at this time, all we're excited about are remakes is perhaps maybe you have a really, really good point. But anyway, this looks like it's going to happen. Looks like it's coming. I'm excited. I'd like to. We'll talk about what's coming tomorrow in a little bit. I want to just do a little bit of housekeeping, as the kids say. The Gabbin&Games newsletter is now live. If you want to link to it, it is below in the about this video. The reason I want to let you know you should sign up for it. Every week there's lots of fun stuff. Today, for example, is our first issue. And as you know, I have lots of issue. Get it? Come on. I have lots of issues, but this is our first issue. We have Mike Ibarra, who is, I'm not even fucking, this is about as big as you can get, fellas. He is the head of Blizzard Entertainment. He used to be an executive at Xbox. He's been on stage with Phil Spencer. I, in fact, asked him in this exclusive interview, nobody else has, about was he the most hardcore gamer at Xbox? And his answer is telling. So there you go. There's a bunch of stuff in today's newsletter. Check it out if you're into such malarkey. Now, last thing on that, Gabbin&Games now, the podcast is on YouTube Music. People have been saying, Jaffe, where's the fuck's the podcast? It's no longer on Buzzsprout or any. It's on YouTube Music. That's the only place you can get it right now. It sounds like they're going to be rolling it out even more to other places. But I almost tweeted about Zelda today. This is total tangential. I'm sorry, fellas. It's the way it goes in my brain. I totally almost tweeted this, and then I was like, okay, this is going to stir up shit again. But it's so much fun, and it's so fun, but then it drives me crazy. People don't know I'm joking, which is, I guess, in Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't gotten it yet. The game I have, I love the game. I'll tell you about that in a second. But in Tears of the Kingdom, you know how you can build all kinds of things. And I guess there is an ability you can get that lets you sort of save what you've built, almost like it. I don't know how it presents itself, but it's kind of like a blueprint. And then you can basically just build it instantly without having to do all the work, right? And I was just like, oh, I want to tweet out, totally earnest. I was like, fellas, this is awesome. You know what would be great? If Nintendo like opens a shop and like MTX and DLC and stuff, they sell microtransaction objects that are already pre-built. So you don't even have to do all the shitty building. You can just buy for like $5 an airship and stuff. Oh, it would piss people off. It would piss them off so much. And then if I made like a little AI storefront to show them what it could look like, come on, man, they would hate it. I would love it, but they would hate it. Man, I love it though. Brian says he's 50 hours in. He's only 20% of the map. I fucking love it. I was going to talk about it later, but I got to tell you, it's great. It is absolutely great. And it feels like I'm on a real adventure, which are my favorite kinds of games. We talked about that. There's old Mike Ybarra. Saturday, I want to talk to you guys about the game club. I fucked up. I didn't record the audio of the members, just myself, on Sunday. So tomorrow is an encore that I will be streaming to YouTube, just so everybody knows what it is. But it ultimately goes behind a paywall for Cult Calypso and above. That's tomorrow. And then Saturday, Cliff is coming on to talk about Gears of War in our second episode of the Gabbin&Games Game Club. So just letting you know that's coming up. Don't forget, Jeff Keighley's interview is available right now for members on the show. You can get it for free come this Friday if you're really dying to hear it. Although this Friday I will release an edited free version because there was a bunch of technical snafus at the beginning. But anyway, that's up right now. We had a great conversation. People seem to enjoy it. I sure did. Give it a listen if you are a member. Critique says Zelda doesn't value the time of the average dad with only 2 to 3 hours a night. Oh, I know. I fucking know. I don't know how I will ever fucking finish that game. I love it. I love being lost in it. And then what's the fucking Warhammer? It's not called Boomer Shooter. It should be Boom something. I don't fucking know. That's out today, getting great reviews. The Planet of Luna or whatever is out today on Game Pass, getting great reviews. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know when I'm going to play all this shit. I still haven't even played Star Wars, and I own the fucking thing. Bolt Gun, that's what it's called. Awesome. All right. I got to tell you about this story real quick. Oh, you're not even looking at the screen. I'm not even showing you guys stuff. You guys are like, Jeffy, what are you doing? I don't know. It's late here. Here's the newsletter. Whatever. There's the podcast. People are like, Jeffy, what? Because I have pictures. I have visual things. I want to tell you something. Okay, real quick. This is going to be a weird show today, but it's going to be a good one, I promise. It already is. Listen, shh. When I finished Twisted Metal 2012, I had like a year before I founded with Nick Kononellos Bartlett Jones. And in that year, I was designing, I was taking meetings, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do next as a game developer, as a designer, as a game director. And I really had this fascination at the time, and I still like him for the most part as a director, with JJ Abrams. I thought Super 8 was pretty much a home movie of my childhood. I just loved everything about his movies, and I was like, my God. And I looked at his office online. I'm like, I want an office like that. I want to work there. I want to work with these people. And, they didn't have a game division or anything like that. And all I can tell you is it was the weirdest thing. I go into a grocery store, my local Ralph's grocery store, during all of this. And I do not believe, I don't believe in anything. I'm agnostic, but I don't tend to believe in things like the law of attraction or the secret or anything like that. Maybe there's some truth to it, but I see no evidence of it. Who knows? Probably placebo at best. But I'm shopping for cereal for my kids. And I get a phone call, and it is JJ Abrams, producer. Now, I knew this guy. Guy's name was Brian. I had not talked to Brian since 2 days out of USC 20 years prior. I had not heard this motherfucker in that long. But I knew he was working with JJ Abrams, and he calls me and he says, Jaffe, I know you make games. We're thinking about getting into games. Do you want to come down and have a meeting with us? And I was just like, that was so fucking weird. And, I did, but then I wanted to make Drawn to Death, and they wanted to make a sports game, and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. But then the other day I opened my email, and, you know, LinkedIn or whatever it is sent me this, and I'm not looking to work in video games anymore, but they're looking for a game director right now at Bad Robot. Yes, Brian Burke. You know Brian Burke, McKinsey? They're looking for a game director, and I'm just like, oh, if this was X number of years ago, I would have just been like, I would have camped out there every day. I would have done anything and everything to get this job. And it's just so weird how life kind of works that way. What is a JJ Abrams sports game? Trust me, it was a JJ Abrams sports game. It's not like he wanted to make an NFL football game, but it kind of had more of that. It certainly wasn't Rocket League, but if you think sports games like Rocket League, more in that vein. But isn't that something? Isn't that just weird? I got a call out of the blue from this guy. Why not do it a cab? Because I don't want to do it. The pictures are not fitting properly. Let me see what's going on. Why I don't want to make games anymore. I want to do what I'm doing now. But all right, Ricardo was saying that the pictures on screen seem pulled down. Yeah, they might be. Who cares? Let me fix them. Hang on. There we go. Nope. Come on now. Try that. Stick that in your pipe and do something with it. Mystery box microtransactions. That's wrong. You don't think you can do that kind of stuff anymore, says Cullen. I'm sure I could. I just don't want to. JC says you should try it if you have the time. I don't have the time. If it was like a dream job. The fantasy was a dream job. The reality was making video games. And after a while, I got bored of that. Okay. Hello, Addie Pie. All right, tomorrow we know. We're excited. I'm super excited. This is going to be a lot of fun. Tomorrow is the PlayStation. This is the first one they've had in, since 2021? I'm excited to see, it'll be, so it's 1 o'clock. We'll probably go live at noon, 12:15, whatever. Shoot the shit, share our thoughts, look at the voting that the chat did last week, and let's see where we end up with. See how right we were. Okay. 620 days since the last showcase. I don't want to do it. Somebody else go do it. You guys go make games and realize how hard it is. Do you guys know it's not fun? Do you guys know it's not fun? It's really hard. It's really hard. Listen, though, but I'm glad somebody's doing it. Can I improve the lighting? The light keeps overpowering. Well, I can't do anything about that because this is what's on my screen right now. I guess I could use I will figure it out later. How hard is it? It's really fucking hard. Fuck you. As a huge Metal Gear fan, you scared me with the outsourcing news, Masochist. I'm not trying to, I don't know anything. I'm just saying that if it is a remake and not a remaster, then someone's got to be guiding the creative vision. And it's not Kojima. And is it possible Konami has hired some fucking whiz kid, badass motherfucker, external producers to sort of oversee this new attempt to get back into core games? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. And maybe they're bringing it. But other than that, though, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm just saying that if they're giving Silent Hill to Team Bloober, it doesn't mean, they're out there going with the sort of the really high ability, low artistry is all I'm saying from so far. Thank you for the super chat. LMNOP says, I've been playing couch co-op games since 86. Why is it not standard in AAA? Design. Well, honestly, because they go where the money is, man. Right? They right now that money is, not in that much. There are games that I think benefit. Even who is it? Sakurai, the guy who leads the Smash Bros. He even said, he's like, if it was up to him, it sounds like he would not make online Smash Bros. He's like, the lag doesn't serve the game. It is not the best version of the game. He likes all of it being local, but the money is where the internet is, right? And online. But I agree, having couch co-op is fantastic. And the best thing is if you can somehow figure out a way to, like, I know we failed in not everybody's eyes, but in most people's eyes spectacularly with Drawn to Death. But Drawn to Death, people say, Jaffe, you should have had more people, like more people fighting or shooting. And to me, I want to figure out if there's a way to take the co-op experience that we all love and make it occur in the online experience, even if you don't know who you're playing with or against. And part of that, one of the ingredients of that recipe was remove a lot of the chaos. So you, like, when you're playing with just 2 or 3 other people sitting on the same screen, you have a more intimate relationship. So, but I hear you. Hey, Man Cave, thank you, buddy, for the super chat. He says Ken Levine's interview on Last Stand Media was fucking amazing. I hear it was great. I haven't heard it yet. I hear it was great. Yeah, It Takes Two was amazing, whichever way you played it, and that was only 2 characters. Anyway, I put this up. What am I playing? Playing the shit out of Zelda. I've already talked about it a little bit. I'll move on, but boy, it's good. It's really, really good. Ricardo is doing a review at the same time I am, and Bukaki is. I don't know if Spaz was we had one other person sign up. We're going to do like an old school EGM review with 4 different reviewers reviewing it, giving it scores, and, real simple review, not like a big deal. But I'm fucking loving it. It's great. Ken Levine says Critiques is a genius, no matter what people say about him being toxic. Well, what I will tell you is, I don't know him super well, but I've had a number of conversations with him as recently as a few months back. And, he's always been super kind and nice to me. He might be difficult to work with, but what do you want? Right? Man, I got to do a show one day about, you guys will or won't believe, I don't know, but the number of developers at every level who have told me that game developers of my generation, meaning guys in their 50s, ladies in their 50s, and one generation lower, like people in their late 30s, 40s, are so different than the new developers coming in that I bet new developers want to fucking wring his neck even more than the old developers did, because there's an expectation of quality of life that developers like me are like, I don't know how you make greatness with that, baby. Maybe we could use AI. We don't want to use AI. Okay, so what you're saying is you don't want to work your asses off to make greatness. You don't want to let the computer do it because you have some moral issue with that, but you still want to get paid a lot of money and have success. I understand. How's that going to work? How you doing? You got the gauntlet, the Infinity Gauntlet, do you? How are you going to create that scenario for yourself? But anyway, it is what it is. Okay, this is Legends. Thank you, buddy. Legends been a member for 26 months. Cult Calypso. Hey, Jaffe, I'm thinking about going to really excellent. He's thinking about going to the Hideo Kojima Connecting Worlds Tribeca film event. We talked about this last week. This is a documentary on Hideo Kojima, the first one I think ever made, and it will be coming out soon. They are going to be doing a screening in New York at the Tribeca event. Yes, man, if you go, you've got to call in and tell us what you thought. I'm very eager and excited to see that documentary on the Kojima-san. And yes, let us know what you think. Okay, I'm also playing this. This is, in fact, speaking of Legends. Legends, we didn't hear from you. I don't know if you just didn't like talking or your mic wasn't there. But we did the first, I'm going to call it like a test run of the game club on Sunday, because the whole thing got fucked up. We're doing it again tomorrow if you want to show up for it. But this is the other thing I've been playing. And what I want to tell you, because this kind of dovetailed perfectly into the post that I was reading on NeoGAF. So let me set this up. So I'm playing this, and I had never finished Gears of War. I loved it, but I never finished it. Par for the course. But I did finish it for the Games Club. Absolutely loved it. That is a game that, even though I know a lot of people think it's a classic, I think it is still underrated. It is so good. And I was just surprised how good and how much it holds up. And then I started thinking about how much I loved RE4 this year and how much I loved Dead Space 2 Remake. And it really is... And how bored I got of God of War Ragnarok. Not because it wasn't beautifully made. I've praised it. I will continue to praise elements of it, its execution. But the pacing was incredibly bad in that game, in my opinion. Couldn't finish it. Couldn't even come close to finishing that game. And it did really make me, and I don't know if it's nostalgic, because I wasn't a kid when games like this, like Gears of War, Dead Space, I was working in the business, right? I was already making games. We were in PS3 generation. I was working on Twisted Metal 2012 at that point. So it's not like these are the kind of games I grew up with, but these games that were linear or mostly linear, where the game creators take you by the hand and say, we're going to show you a good time. And maybe it's not going to be a 40-hour game or a 100-hour game. I saw Gene Park today tweeting he's put over 100 hours into Tears of the Kingdom, which again, I love that game. But, you know, I don't know if the business model allows for it, but man, the business model has really hurt one of the best types of games, which are these 8 to 12 hour single player linear scripted experiences. I was looking at this thread on NeoGAF where people were saying, I think do you ever miss AAA first person shooters with strictly linear story campaigns? I haven't checked the results in a while. Let's see. It sounds like, 78%. My heart aches for those games to come back, right? I love those games. And I was thinking when I was playing Gears, so you could make Gears Ultimate today. Like the Xbox could make, they did it with Hive Busters, which I thought was great. But you could make just a single player 5-hour Gears, and maybe it doesn't look any better than Ultimate, which I think holds up beautifully, playing it in 2023. You could still make games like that and just make them like B movies, not in terms of what they're about, but just in terms of the cost you put into it. I can't be the only one missing this and the only one getting this wonderful breath of fresh air from Dead Space 2 in December, now RE4, which was just sublime, and now playing Gears Ultimate Edition. I think, you know, the big companies aren't going to spend the money to go back to this because there's no fucking money in it when they're spending $200+ million. But if you can make one of these for $40 million, which you fucking could, I don't know, man. I miss this shit, and it looks like I'm not the only one. Bookster, thank you for being a member to Cult Calypso. Bookster was there. Bookster had a lot of great shit to talk about with Gears, hardcore Gears fan. He says Gears 2 and Gears 3 are so much better than Ultimate. Narrative gameplay, level design is just way better. I will tell you and I don't know if you'll be there tomorrow, Bookster, when we do the part 2 of the Game Club, but reading Cliff Bleszinski's book where he talks about his desire and inspiration and what he wanted to achieve with Gears 2. Like, I was amazed by how woke and political Gears 1 is if you listen to what Cliff was making it about. When you get into Gears 2, when you get into Gears of War 2, his motivations go even, I mean, it's very politically engaged and very woke. And I love that, of course. I'm a fucking progressive motherfucker. But I was just surprised by that. Hopefully we'll see you there tomorrow, Bookster. But yeah, I'm with you. I want to get this. Gears is an excellent example, says LMNO PO, of, thank you for the super chat, bud, of co-op experiences. Yeah, I didn't play it. Co-op, but I hear people love it in co-op, and I should. And that may be, but you can do that online and you can do it split screen, right? So kind of best of both worlds for what you're looking for. I wonder if the new one, I don't know about Gears 5. Gears 5 had split screen local, didn't it? I thought it did. Carlos, thank you, buddy. 21 months. He says, I stopped playing Zelda for a bit because Humanity is really fun. Probably my favorite game this year. Well, you're probably getting a lot of sex then. Well, I don't know. You got to be careful. Carlos, how many kids you got? I'm not even fucking with you. Carlos, you got about 5 kids. You just had a new one, and they're all beautiful. You've showed me pictures before. They're all a beautiful little brood, the Hernandez brood of Cincinnati. A good family, a good Christian family. Hell, Carlos got me to read the Bible. I'm not even fucking with you. He said, Jaffe, read this fucking Bible. It's one that it's good. I haven't read the whole thing because it's long. The middle part of the Bible drags. He's a little punching up in Act 2. But that said, though, yes, I understand your reality is going great, and I'm glad to hear that, buddy. But Humanity is really fun. Oh, shit. You didn't capitalize the word humanity. So he's talking about the game Humanity. I thought he just meant like his life, like people. Hey, everybody, I'm a fucking idiot. Everybody knows but me. That's why I'm a fucking idiot. Why don't you let me be? Carlos Hernandez thinks I'm dumb, and he's right. Sorry, Carlos. Yeah, I hear humanity is great. Whatever. Let's keep moving on. Okay. Yeah, Vanquish is the shit, baby. Vanquish is the shit. Okay. A cab says, though, you're wrong. He says, humanity is not fun. It's not fun. Look at Ricardo rolling his eyes going, this is the guy I'm working with? I'm working with this motherfucker? Are you out of your mind? All right. Now, I cannot be specific. And I won't be specific, but this exists. Footage of the new Harry Potter Quidditch game briefly appears online before Warner Brother takes it down. There was a beta or an alpha, very early version of the game happening this weekend. Your old Papa Jaffe got in. I played it a little bit. I obviously can't divulge any real details about it. What I can tell you is it is exactly what you think it is, right? So it's, it's neat. I offered them some feedback that you can do in the ending and stuff. And, it's very early. There's a lot of work they got to do on it, but they know that this is not ready. This is not ready to go out and ship yet. And they're doing really early tests and shit. It's just, all I will say is this right now, if you strip away the license and you just say, hey, these are guys on Return of the Jedi bikes, like indoor bikes or whatever, it's fine. It's fine. It's not Rocket League in the sky, though, Gerard. I mean, it conceptually is, but you're passing the ball and doing either. I'm not giving anything away because they basically made the game of Quidditch. But I would say that this, unless they add some really meaningful shit that was not present in the core gameplay they shared, I don't see this lasting very long after the bloom is off the rose. But I don't fucking know. Maybe Harry Potter is that strong of a brand that people will play anything forever. But I played 1.5 games, 2 games maybe, I forget. I have no intention of ever going back to it unless I just see some stuff that is like, whoa, amazing. Tomorrow, the time is 2:00 is when we're doing the Encore Club. But again, you're already there. We're going to talk about a lot of the same stuff, but we'll have more people and we'll see how it goes. Potter nerds don't want to play sports, says Controller Sports. Well, a lot of them do. A lot of them want to play Quidditch, and again, it's not bad. There's nothing about it that is, poorly done. It's very well made. It's really cool. It's just kind of like, it's kind of basic. Ricardo says 2 is showcase. Oh shit, no, not tomorrow. I mean Thursday. I don't mean tomorrow. I'm sorry, fellas. I'm sorry. I don't mean tomorrow. I mean Thursday. Thursday is when we're doing the Encore. Tomorrow is, of course, the showcase. Yes, Ricardo, thank you for that. I was like, what the fuck? Okay. The game is terrible in concept, says Brian. It just doesn't stand out. I mean, the license is kind of enough to get people in the door. It got me in the door, but I don't want to go back through it. Let's just say that. All right. It's about Spider-Man Co-op. So this is interesting. We're not really allowed to talk about the beta if you're talking about the Quidditch thing. I mean, you certainly can't share footage. And I think you want to be fair to it, Blackout, in the sense that it is clearly very early. And I think the team is just trying to get a sense of, do we have anything here? But I think my experience was it was pretty even though it was early, the core of it just didn't feel very unique or special. I mean, did you find a similar experience when you played it or no? Aquastorm talking about Tears of the Kingdom. Save that. We're going to talk about it in just a second. Okay. Is it free to play? I don't know. I think so. Okay, let's talk about Spider-Man. So let's Hang on, I'm getting something right here from the blind one. What is he saying? Hang on. Why did you send me this? The blind one? He just sent me something from Sony. I'm assuming this is old. Let me know in the chat why you wanted me to look at this. Do you want me to talk about this to people on the stream? Come on now. Come on now. It's not couth. It ain't couth, baby. So Spider-Man. Okay. So everybody, there was a lot of speculation about, is Spider-Man going to be co-op? And I think what happened, if I remember the flow of information, yesterday someone had come out and said, it may have been Collider, somebody came out and was kind of teasing that it was going to have co-op. Oh, I know what it was. I'm an idiot. It was this guy, the voice actor of Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Let me just play this for you. This is what he said. This is what he said, and this is kind of what got a lot of people speculating. I will get to that super chat L in just a second. This is what he said. He was at a convention, and he's talking about Spider-Man. I have it queued up. Let's give a listen, shall we?
Like I had Green Goblin, the 6-inch action figures. Y'all remember those big body ones? I had those. Yeah, you can't find those no more. But man, yeah, I had the Green Goblin, had all that, man. So I want to say that Tobey Maguire one is I grew up on. That one, and then the Venom and him turning into all three.
I'm asked a nerd question. Here it goes. All right. So is Spider-Man 2 co-op?
I believe it has been. I think it has been announced. I think, I don't know if it's been announced or not, but I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
mean,
you seen part 2 trailer, right?
Oh yes, I have.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I mean,
So
like
that right there. If nothing is giving you a little sense of that,
I feel that
we will have a part 2 coming out soon. So
yo, bro, I feel that. But then like,
yeah, it's gonna be crazy, bro.
like do you
we
also
have
get
a
Venom
lot.
too? Like,
you said again?
yeah, bro, like, do you get Venom too? Like, do you get the symbiote on you?
Shh, they're everywhere.
What?
They're gonna be everywhere.
Oh. That's all I needed to know. I'm gonna go back into the line. I'm gonna let someone else ask questions.
Okay, so this is what created the speculation. Now, yeah, of course, there is the possibility. Even Ricardo brought this up. He's like, "Well, is this guy a gamer? Like, does he know what co-op means, or was he just like, oh, are Peter and Miles going to be in scenes together?" Right? I think there's no way we can know that. Okay, there's absolutely no way we can know that based on this, right? It is interesting that apparently, regardless of co-op, it sounds like you're not just fighting Venom as the symbiote, but a lot of different people get it, which is kind of interesting. But regardless, though, so then Insomniac comes out and they tweet out, yeah, fuck that shit. I think their actual tweet was just like, it will be a solo. Here's their tweet right here. Insomniac says, nope, it's an epic single-player adventure. Okay, so is it not? I don't fucking know. I can tell you that Insomniac, just like I have, by the way, I'm not insulting them, they have out and out lied before. If you remember, they said that Spider-Man 1 would never come to PC and would never come to, I believe they even said it wasn't for PS4, but they certainly said it would never come to PC. So is it true? Is it not true? I don't fucking know. But there's that. And then the other part is that you can get away with a lie when it's kind of a lie, right? So there are people speculating that maybe it'll be co-op DLC. If you remember, the first Spider-Man had, I think it was 4, right? 4 DLC packs that were sort of, they fit into the overall narrative, but they were sort of standalone stories. It's also quite possible that maybe some of those, all of those will be multiplayer. So but I will tell you, I don't believe them. The headline for the show is like, do you believe these guys? I love Insomniac. I loved Miles Morales. And I know that some of those fuckers watch this show, so they're sitting back going, either Jaffe, you're a moron, or Jaffe, you son of a bitch. I don't fucking know. But what I'll tell you though is I love it. I don't care. I like Spider-Man for the single player, but sure, I'll try it. I guess the questions are, do you want it to have co-op? Regardless, should it have co-op? Or is it kind of like, no, we don't want that? I'll tell you the problem I have with co-op. The problem I have with co-op in games is you very quickly fall out of the narrative, right? It's no longer about you going on this adventure. It becomes like a sport, right? So like, I played with Rob the Mod. I played It Takes Two online on the stream, or I played with a bunch of members of the stream, Hivebusters. And, I understand that It Takes Two is about a husband and wife that are on the verge of divorce and how they saved their family. And it's all this, really well-written stuff. But I'm just screaming at Rod the Mod, and he's screaming at me like, you stupid motherfucker, shoot that fucking nail gun over here so I can use it to swing on, right? It absolutely brings you out of the moment to moment of the IP. And I think Insomniac and Sony these days is so much about the narrative and the story and the characters that I can't imagine Insomniac, at least in the mainline Spider-Man 2, is like, yeah, let's blow all that to shit and come up with puzzles where it's like, no, you swing over there and hit that lever and I'll make sure I'm holding it up so, we can trap the rhino. That starts to feel like just a typical puzzle game and doesn't feel like Spider-Man anymore. So I would say that for the DLC, because I do think they're going to do something with it, it could work there. I hope, and I don't think it's going to be in the main launch game. And again, this isn't the first time either, right? I mean, Sony has Joel and Ellie and Ratchet and Rivet and Kratos and Atreus. They've had plenty of opportunities to put co-op gameplay in their narrative games. They've never done it. So I'm not entirely sure why this one is the one. The only thing I would say is maybe people are speculating on Spider-Man more because Ellie and Joel and all that stuff, those are original stories. There's not a lot of stories that have been told. But we've already had Miles' story in games, and we've had Spidey's story in games, not to mention comics and movies. And, maybe it doesn't seem as precious to them. I'm not saying it's a template game. I loved Miles Morales. Fucking loved Miles Morales. But I look, if anybody can make co-op work and still embrace the narrative and it feels like you're living in a story, it's probably Sony. It's probably Insomniac. But I think the minute you put other people in, you just have all kinds of sort of the cognitive dissonance, as they like to say, gets a little too harsh, and it becomes difficult to lose yourself into the fiction of it. Are they going to show Wolverine tomorrow? I don't think so, Brownies. I don't think so at all. Let me get the super chat. Forget about the multiplayer of Crackdown 3. The 2-player co-op campaign shows Spider-Man 2 could have done it and it works. Crackdown 3 was fun and underrated. Okay, but Crackdown 3, which I never played, so I don't really know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I, of course, know what it is. And Crackdown 3, I'm almost certain is the video I made that got Phil Spencer to block me for a time. But Crackdown 3, though, yeah, there was a narrative, yeah, there's IP, but it was goofy, and it wasn't really about the story and immersing you in the world of it was a goofy, dumb, fun, open world sandbox. It wasn't trying to give you this emotional angst of, oh, this character dies and this and that and the other and all, so I don't know. I don't know if that's, doesn't mean it wasn't fun, but I don't think it's the same thing. I don't think they're going for the same goal. So no, Doomslayer says, what? Phil blocked you. He did back in the day. And I think it's because I hired the guy, Mel McMurran, who did the voice of Calypso. And I did a new Twisted Metal 2 ending for our Halloween special, where Phil Spencer wins Twisted Metal. This had all, it had shitty animation I did, but it had the actual audio of Mel, brand new dialogue I wrote. And basically he won Twisted Metal, and I forget what he wanted, but the twist was Calypso kind of trapped him in the world. I think what it was is he wanted to win the console war. And the console war, so Xbox won the console war, but the war took a toll and everybody was killed and everyone was destroyed. And very much like that famous Burgess Meredith episode of The Twilight Zone, the only video game that was left was Crackdown 3. So Phil was left all alone in life, and all he could do was play Crackdown 3. And I think Phil was like, you're an asshole. You're insulting the team. Fuck you. And he blocked. It was fun, though. I'm a little stinker. Come on now. That's a new soundbite. I'm a little stinker. I just like to play. Come on. I'm a rascal. I'm a trickster character. Come on now. I'll post it somewhere you guys can see it. But anyway, we'll see tomorrow. This is so much fun to speculate and talk about because we don't know what we're getting tomorrow. But it's exciting times. Let me show you this. This is going to be a fun little exercise. A cap says Spidey will have Venom, which will introduce interesting gameplay possibilities. At this point with Venom, though, all the superheroes just need to carry around boomboxes because the only way you can kill Venom or stop Venom is sonic attacks. It's almost like, if Batman fought Venom, it would be like, okay, here. And the audio would blow his fucking brain out and he'd be dead or he'd be captured. Venom is like kryptonite. Venom is like Superman's kryptonite, but kryptonite's hard to come by. Base is not. You literally fight Venom in any kind of college campus environment where people are driving all around with their fucking bass blowing out. Venom will die. He will die. That's right. Jeeves says Venom needs a pair of noise canceling headphones. That's right. All right. The player will have the option to kiss Venom at the end. What? Okay. But yeah, Jay says, I'm so stoked. I'm not going to lie. And not True Fire kills him as well. Well, I'm stoked for that game, but I'm also wondering how disappointed we're going to be tomorrow. Because, everybody's built up and excited, which is fun. But how often do these things really bear the kind of fruit we want it to bear? Water Princess, I have played It Takes Two. I liked it. I haven't finished it, but I liked it very, very much. It was really, really good, Water Princess. This guy, Games Radar, the site, you have $15. Which announcements are you picking for the PlayStation Showcase? I'll do mine, and then let's see what Ricardo says, and I'll call out somebody else's if it's good. What happened to Abandon? Oh, that joke makes itself, my friend. Come on now. Okay. My perfect showcase would be, what's this one down here? Hang on. Ricardo's right. We can't see it. Okay, new Bungie product, Star Wars coder. Oh, no, fuck any, I don't care. Okay. I would go with, these are good. Good for you. Oh, good for you. Oh, man. I would go with Wolverine, Spider-Man 2. So what is that? That's 7. Dino Crisis, 8, 9, 10. And then I would go with, if they said, fuck. Probably Corey's new game, but it's very close to Bloodborne. So it would be Wolverine, Spider-Man, Dino Crisis, and then Corey or Bloodborne, depending on the moment. That would be $15. That's what I would spend $15 on. Bloodborne, you guys love playing the same game over and over. That game is just so fucking good that I don't care. All remakes and sequels, says Masochista. On this, well, we don't know what Fire Sprite's game is. Rise of the Ronin's a new game. Oh, you can't see the $1 tier. Excuse me. Allow me to move myself over. All right, the $1 tier is Jumping Flash Reboot, Knack 3, Star Wars Coder Remake, or new Bungie products. Sorry. Bloodborne is not that good. I think you're wrong. I think you're simply wrong. Maybe it doesn't work for you, and I can respect that. But listen, if you don't like Bloodborne, then you have to just come to grips with the fact that
Everybody hates you, and I'm glad your husband died. He probably killed himself.
It's true. It's absolutely true. All right. Let me call out somebody in the chat. Let me call out Who wants to go at this? Who wants to go at this? Yeah, Stellar Blade Mitch Doe is not there. We might see it tomorrow. We might even see Castlevania. Who the fuck knows? All right, I'm going to give, Water Princess is always such a negative nanny that Water Princess, you go. You got $15. What do you want to buy? What games do you want to guarantee are there tomorrow? Because you hate everything. You hate everything. You're like that kid in the Life cereal commercial. And that's not bad. You're very discriminating, which I appreciate. You're not wrong, Francisco. Where's Ghost 2? Yeah. Well, okay, if I had to take one of these off, would I rather see... I would rather see Ghost 2 than Spider-Man, but that's just because I've already seen Spider-Man. But if Ghost Tsushima 2 was up in the $5 category, then I still wouldn't pick it though, because I know what it's going to be roughly. Whereas I have no idea what Corey's working on. And I just thought Bloodborne was the tits, man. If they don't show Wolverine, when the hell are they going to show it? They don't need to show it. I mean, they can, but why would they? Right? I mean, they've got so much other stuff to show. Think about this. If some of the theories hold, this time tomorrow, gents and gentellies, we could be playing a beta drop of Last of Us multiplayer. There could be a shadow drop we could be playing right now. Right now. Come this time tomorrow. Think about that. Man Cave says he wants Bloodborne, Soul Reaver, and Uncharted plus Knack is where he would spend his ducats. Bloodborne I get. I think Soul Reaver has given you guys some massive nostalgia goggles. Is Soul Reaver? Yeah, I mean, that game, I'm not saying it wasn't a great game, but Water Princess, you want Last of Us? Okay. All right. Addy Pie says Metal Gear. Well, you're just saying things. You can't afford all that. He says Metal Gear, that's $5. DS2 isn't even on the list. You're shopping at a store that doesn't even have what you're saying you're going to buy. Fuck you. Kart Racer says I want Metal Gear, Spider-Man. You're $9 in. Death Stranding 2, 9, 10, 11, and Wolverine, 12, 13, 14 in Bungie. Okay, you come in right under the wire. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Jaffe, is it impossible that Corey is making the Mandalorian game? Nothing's impossible, certainly with Sony these days, getting in bed with first-party titles that are licensed IP, but Water Princess, that would be good. Power Stone. I wonder if Power Stone holds up these days, though. Certainly would it hold up online? I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, this is going to be an exciting day tomorrow. Tune in. We'll be doing that show here. All right, let's move on. Let's ease on down the road. Don't you carry nothing? That might be a load. Come on now, ease on down the road. Have I kept up with Marvel Snap? You goddamn right. I love Marvel Snap. It's great. Man Cave, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says Kane and Raziel's actors were fantastic, plus great lore. I get it. But it's old and I don't know. People are excited about it. It does have a fan base. Bolt, it's Jaffe. What's going on, baby? What do you want to talk about real quick before we move on to talking about an amazing number that you guys won't believe? I didn't believe it. I don't think you're going to believe it either. What's up, Bolt? Bolt, where are you? Where are you, Bolt? I can't hear you. I don't know. Ricardo's. Hang on. Ricardo, can you hear me? Ricardo.
Hey there.
I can't.
What's up, everyone?
Did you want me to talk to Bolt? You said go to the Discord.
Bolt?
Well,
No.
you said Discord before moving. You tweeted me that, and I thought.
Yeah, because you said that you wanted to talk to me about this, the votes.
Oh, yeah. Right, I understand now. Come, Ricardo. The Queen's English, baby. All right, here we go. What do you want, Ricardo? I'm giving you 15
Yeah,
bucks.
so basically, considering Red Dead Redemption 2 Remaster is not on the table, I'm going with
No,
Bloodborne.
hang on. There's an echo. Hang on. I know, fellas. I know every
Echo.
every time I put somebody in. Okay, all right, Ricardo, go.
Bloodborne. Metal
Bloodborne
Gear Solid
is
3.
$10 you've already dropped. Okay,
Spider-Man 2.
$14.
Death Stranding 2.
Death Stranding 2 is you're over your budget.
I don't care. I don't care.
You're the producer of the show, and you don't care about going over
I
budget?
don't care.
Oh,
That's it. Yep.
You poor son of a bitch. You're gonna bankrupt us, Ricardo. How are we gonna make this? How are we gonna make a go at this?
I don't care.
All right, fine. Death Stranding 2.
Also, I just realized I've been messaging someone else on Skype with messages for you for the last 20 minutes. So,
your wife's like traveling on work and shit, and she's like, "What the fuck, Ricardo?
We're perfect for each other."
Is this some kind of weird role playing? You want to be Miles Morales and I'll be Spider-Man? What's going on? All right,
something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. All right, fair enough. Thank you. Bye, Ricardo.
See you guys. See you tomorrow, man.
Yep. Hey, Spazbo.
Hi, Happy.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Here's a question for you.
What's up?
I give you $15. What are the 3 games you want to see at the PlayStation Showcase? Forget the $15. You got to be watching the show. What is the number one? What is the number one game you want to see tomorrow?
Half-Life Alyx for PSVR 2.
Oh Lord, that's not happening. Give me a real game. Give me a real game.
I've heard a leak that it is.
Oh Lord, have mercy. Okay, that's what.
So
you
I
want.
hope the leak is true. I would love to play it in PSVR 2.
All right. Fair enough. Well, that's All right. See you later. Whatever. What are you playing right now? Oh my God, still Shenmue?
Yeah, I'm still playing Shenmue right now.
All right. See you later.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. All right, fellas, let's move on. Here we go. Listen to this now. We were talking about Street Fighter. I don't know if you guys played the open beta this weekend. I thought it was really, really good. I enjoyed it. I'm very much looking forward to that game. But we were talking about Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat coming back and kind of coming out probably in the same year. Keighley has pretty much announced that Mortal Kombat 1, which is what it's being called, will be at the Summer Game Fest. And then today I also saw, by the way, Life of P or Pi, whatever the fuck it's called, will be at Summer Game Fest. But regardless, though, so you may have Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat battling in the same fucking year. But I was totally stunned by this because I assumed that Street Fighter was a big fucking seller compared to Mortal Kombat. Like they were relatively close. But look at this data. I'm going to show you a graph in a second. These are the top fighting game franchise sales. Listen to this. Virtua Fighter is 5.5 million units across the whole franchise. Marvel vs. Capcom is 10 million. This one was a little surprising. I didn't realize it was that big of a franchise. Dead or Alive is 11.7 million. Lies of P, whatever the fuck it's called. The goddamn one with the Pinocchio shit. Soul Calibur is 17 million. Here we are, the top 4. The number 4 fighting game is Street Fighter. Is fucking Street Fighter. That's down there. I thought it would be really, really close. 49, let's just say 50 million copies of Street Fighter. Tekken, this one blew me away. Tekken sells more than Street Fighter? You goddamn right. 5 million more copies than Street Fighter. The number 2, I thought would be number 1, but it's not. The number 2 is Super Smash Bros. It's 72 million. And then the number 1 is Mortal Kombat at 80. So if Street Fighter wants to sort of, it makes a lot of sense. There's the chart up on the screen. It makes a lot of sense now. It always made sense, but it makes even more sense now when you hear about Capcom really trying to bring a more, not casual, but a more, make it a little bit more accessible with Street Fighter. It makes a lot more sense because they're looking at these games and going, fellas, we're playing way too much to the hardcore. But that's really interesting. Really interesting. That's missing Dragon Ball between Super Smash and Tekken. Do people really look at Dragon Ball as a fighter, though, Ricardo? Isn't Dragon Ball a little bit more like Arena Power Stone? I mean, there's a lot of different versions of it, but the last one I played, you were able to fly around and do all kinds of shit that what didn't feel like you were even locked to a sort of 3D plane. I think, Toshinden should be up here. I mean, come on now. I'll tell you something. You can say, you guys can mock the fuck out of Toshinden, but I'm serious. I was fucking there, man. I was there at Sony when the PlayStation 1 was about to launch and when it launched. And I remember we did a Twisted Metal and Warhawk focus test, play test, whatever. And we wanted to show them other games on the PlayStation because nobody had played PlayStation yet. So we were kind of like, okay, we need to kind of show them what we're going to be competing against. So they're not giving us feedback in a vacuum. And I'll tell you something. Everybody in that fucking room was just blown away. All the new players, because I had already seen Toshinden. They were just like, what in the fuck? You'd never seen anything like it at the time. It was incredible, man. It was an incredible experience. And then Tobal #1 was never the big hit that I thought it might gonna be, but that may have been its art style. But yeah, Toshinden was the shit. And then Bushido Blade. I remember we got a copy of Bushido Blade in the office, and I think, I could be wrong, because I know it's a Square property. Maybe we were being considered, or they wanted to know if we wanted to publish it in America. Because we were looking at it very early and we were playing it. And of course, our first response was, where the fuck are the health bars? What the fuck is this game? But once we got our heads around it, holy shit. Holy cockadoodie shit. That Bushido Blade was the fucking tits. Insane. Killer Instinct. If you don't know Bushido Blade, it had no health bars. You could kill somebody with one hit. You could literally I love that you could reach down into certain levels depending on if you were playing in the sand, and you could throw sand in the face of your enemy and blind them for a little bit. I mean, it was nuts. I did hear Killer Instinct. People are talking about Killer Instinct in the chat. Killer Instinct apparently is getting moved to even better servers or something. So it's going to keep going. I've never played the Xbox version. I think I'll play some tonight. I'm curious about it. Carlos, thank you for the super chat. He says, I feel it's easier to show Mortal Kombat than Street Fighter to most people, especially with great guest characters like Jason, Rambo, RoboCop. I think that's a big part of it. I think another big part of it is that it's easy. Look, there's a reason it's my favorite fighting game, because I'm better than just button mashing at it, but I'm not that much better than just button mashing at it. But you can still win, and you can still find a couple of moves that do well for you. And you're right, the roster is great. I think Street Fighter, obviously up until now, has been very, very pure. And I know that it's beloved, at least certain iterations, because of that. But I think if you've played the beta and use there's the classic controls, modern controls, and then there's like the spammy button mash controls. I play the middle one, and I don't think I'll ever play above or below. But I love playing it now because I can fucking do it. And I know it's like, well, gee, Jaffe, get good. Yeah, you go get good, because Capcom agrees with me. They want the 80 million, baby. They don't want 50 million. They want more ducats. They're on a roll, Capcom, baby. You know what I'm saying? The commentary is great too. Michael Quinn says, I know. I think this is the first fighting game to have it, but if you play Street Fighter 6, it's really cool because there's like 5 or 6 different teams of commentators. And it's, it's like commentating in a sports game, but it's for a fighting game. And I'm sure you get tired of it and want to turn it off after you hear it. Maybe they'll update it all the time. But it's actually really fast. Like their ability to really call the match, it is a good learning tool, and it's also just kind of adds to the fun. Ricardo says Street Fighter's for babies. What are you talking about? I mean, the hardest core fighting game on this list is probably, the most technique heavy is probably Tekken, right? Isn't Tekken? Wouldn't it be between Dead or Alive and Tekken? Maybe I don't know. I'm not a fighting game guy. It certainly wouldn't be Mortal Kombat or Smash. Oh, you mean the new mechanics are for babies? Fine. fuck you. I'm a baby then, but I'm enjoying it more. You know, it's great, man. What they've shown is great. Did I watch the Lords the Fallen reveal? A Cab says, I didn't. And Ricardo called me that morning when we were figuring out the news for that day. And he was, you know, Ricardo was almost talking about it, and he's not the only one, like it was something I should care about. And I don't mean that disrespectfully or anything, but I was like, what is Lords of the Fallen? Like, I don't know if it did better in other countries. I have no idea, but it just never really, I was only semi-aware of it. So, but there are people that are excited about it, clearly. So I'll keep an eye out for it. But I don't really know much about it. I heard it was just kind of like, Tekken is the best. Fight me. I can't. You're probably right. You're probably right. Jaffe, you a hairy baby. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know. Can you imagine though? What is it like? Remember the Weekly World News with the wolf baby? Is that what it was? The Wolfman baby? Addy Pie doesn't like this. He says yawn. Carlos says, where's my super chat? He says, best Jaffe, thank you, buddy. He says, best characters that can feature on Mortal Kombat. I mean, you know, look, I was surprised. I heard Ed Boon recently say that Ed Boon recently said that Sweet Tooth came really close. And maybe if the series is a hit, they'll get Sweet Tooth. I mean, for me, I don't fucking know. I would love to create, with an artist, of course, or sorry, with AI, Mid-Journey. I would love to create some characters for a fighting game. I think that would be a lot of fucking fun. I mean, they would all be so fucking weird. You know, the one that I like the most, I don't like them the most, but I respect it so much, is the fighting, was it King of Fighters or whatever, where it's like Terry Bogard and all that shit. They almost have, they're just people, right? They're absolutely just, I mean, I know, like, you know, they don't have much to their design, but they're still very memorable. It's really actually quite interesting. Yes, I know, Ricardo. I know, you were kidding. Cooper, thank you, buddy, for joining the Diet Soda Soldiers again. I appreciate it, man. Good to see you again, Cooper. Thank you for being back in the fold. Hopefully we will see you tomorrow on the chat for the PlayStation Showcase. You're going to watch that with us. I'm excited. I'm very, very excited, but I do appreciate that, bud. Thank you very much. The Yoker, thank you for the super chat. He says, Jaffe, Twisted Metal was the first video game I ever played. Thank you so much to you and your team. You are very welcome on behalf of me and the team, man. I love that it was a game that you played, but it is the first one. So even if it was a piece of shit, it would have stuck with you good. But I love that we get to live in your... Think about that. I mean, that's cool, man. The older I get, the cooler it is. Somewhere in your DNA, they say, stores memories. That joy that you may have gotten from some work we did will pass on through generations, not as awareness of Twisted Metal, but just a little part of joy that got put in your brain pan because we did what we did and you enjoyed it. That gets passed out back into the universe. I love that. It makes me happy. Thank you, the Yoker, for the super chat, and thank you even more for the very nice comment. I very much appreciate it, buddy. Okay, let us move forward. I have to talk about this guy. What the fuck, man? What the fuck, man? This is the CEO of Nvidia. Every time he does a speech, this bothers me, and nobody talks about it, and nobody asks him about it. What is with all of the fucking spatulas? And I'm not doing a bit. I'm not upset. I'm not trying to be silly. I'm not trying to be funny. What the fuck is happening? Look at all of his spatulas. And it's not like he's a collector. If you're listening to the show and you're not watching the show, he literally has a jar in the background filled with, there are probably 45, 50 multicolored spatulas, okay? And I want you to understand something. If you're a collector, if you're an aficionado of the spatula, oh, I have a metal one, I have one shaped like the Hulk, I have, that's one thing. These are like, you went to you went to Bed Bath & Beyond and you just bought like 7 or 8 boxes of the same fucking, it's just a generic spatula. Maybe his son makes them. And he's like, well, that's what my son does, so I'm proud of him. I don't know. X-Men says the dude's balling as fuck. Really? Really? That's what... Come on now. I'm not saying... Christian says just let him cook. I'm not saying the man can't cook. I'm not trying to take away his freedom to cook. I'm just saying that what's with his fucking spatulas? Video game obsession says Spatula City. Spatula City. If you don't know that, that's a deep cut, but it's a good cut. I appreciate it. He's woke. Yeah, he's woke. That's right. Yeah, he's got rubber spatulas. That's all. I'm not kink shaming him. I'm not kink shaming. Who is this guy in the chat? Sugalap says, don't kink shame him. I just want somebody who's a reporter to ask about him. Just ask about him. It's weird. Okay, let's move on, but that's a problem. This guy's gonna snap. And who's it gonna be? Man, Jaffe was always talking about the fucking spatula. Ricardo says that's the weird bit, not wearing a jacket in the kitchen. Well, I mean, maybe he's cold, right? I mean, let's forget the fact that it looks like he's got like a bomb detonator in his hand. Let's forget that for a moment. And that he's got a jacket. This is where your eye needs to go if you're going to judge this motherfucker as a potential red flag that we need to let people... Controller Sports is concerned about the jacket as well. It's the head of Nvidia right here, folks. Chris Colin says, nope, he'll snap if he doesn't get a new spatula once a week. Come on now. This is a fake setup. Who would choose to talk about Nvidia graphics cards in front of a kitchen set? All right, let's move on, though. Come on now. I think all the executives should come out with spatulas now. That's what it should be. Yeah, it's a CG kitchen. All right, let's move on. Come on. Listen, let's talk about Final Fantasy for a moment. Let's talk about Final Fantasy. He has 3 pepper grinders, says Uncle Filthy. Wait a minute. Oh, my... Well... Okay, but that you can kind of forgive because there are different variants of spice and peppers and whatnot, right? So Card Razor says, let him cook. I'm not denying his ability to cook. Even if we red flag this guy and he goes to prison, he should be able to cook. It's an outlet. But I'm just saying that, these are things that you could do different spices in, right? But come on. Let's move on. You guys think I'm doing a bit. I'm very bothered by this. I'm very bothered. He's a toxic asset. That's right. Come on now. Okay. Okay. Wallace says, let him cook, dagnabbit. I like how suddenly the narrative is Jaffe doesn't want the guy to cook. That's his mom's house. He's a super successful guy, but yeah. Okay. You're not allowed... Bearskin Umbrella says, Jaffe, my sheltered sweet child, you're not allowed to cook in prison. White collar prisons, which is where he would go, you can probably be like, hey, I'm on the cooking staff. They don't give you anything dangerous you could slip in the... Let's focus on the show. This is ADD. It's real. Don't let anybody tell you that ADD is not real. It's so real. It's so real. Okay. I am so toxic and problematic. I am. Okay. Moving on. Let's talk Final Fantasy. I'm not going to look at the chat anymore. It's distracting me. Final Fantasy. Okay. Okay, focus. Shh. So Ricardo and I were talking about Final Fantasy 16. He says, hey, the previews that are dropping are pretty positive. Here's some of the stuff Ricardo found that he sent me as an example of 16 getting a lot of hype, given how good the previews are being received by the press. Game Reactor says it's the most promising Final Fantasy game in nearly 2 decades. Eurogamer says it's a PS5 pushing exclusive action RPG with the character-driven narrative of high drama, satisfying combat, and accomplished cinematic storytelling. Game Informer says it's clear FF16 is aiming to be one of the darkest, most mature, and most action-forward games of the series. IGN says, from what I've seen so far, the future looks very bright for this game. Polygon says Final Fantasy XVI is a slick, modern epic with the soul of a PS2 game. People are excited. People are excited. I'm excited. I haven't been excited about a Final Fantasy game in a long time. And then, the word is that tomorrow, I'll get to that in a second, D-Line. Tomorrow, we will obviously be seeing this. This comes out in June 20-something. There's a demo, which is coming 2 weeks before. Now, I saw a reporter yesterday posit that this would actually be coming out tomorrow as a shadow drop, not the game, but the demo. But regardless, we know we're getting a demo 2 weeks before, if that doesn't change, which I think is June 8th, right? So that's exciting. And then somebody else sent me this, which I thought was very flattering. They talked to the producer. I think Yoshida is the producer. He says, can you talk? This came from Susie X over on the Twitter. Can you talk a little bit about some of the games that have inspired or influenced Final Fantasy 16? Then the whoever the reporter is says, I see a little God of War, a little The Witcher. Yoshida says, I love the two games, especially God of War. The craziness of the boss battles in God of War when it was a more traditional game is just the game design is so different for each stage and the boss is so unique. Everything is made with power and you can feel the power. So while I personally also really like the most recent games in the series, I look back further to the original Gods of War, and especially the boss battles in those, how the boss battles are crazy and they're different designs for each and they're all unique and they're all over the top. And in getting inspiration from that and creating our Elcon versus Icon, I don't know what the fuck that is. I think it's like monster battles to kind of have that same feel. So that was cool. And that was fucking flattering and that was fun, blah, blah, blah. I like that. But then I read this. Venture Beat was the one preview and I'm still going to get it. I'm still excited. But I'm also kind of like, Venture Beat plays it. And here's what they said. I don't like this. I don't know what they're thinking, especially a game that is clearly great with the action. It seems like it's clearly a little bit more aimed at a bigger audience and all that shit. It's not that I have a caveat. Eric says Jaffe always got some caveat about everything. Well, I could just read you the news, but of course I have a take. Otherwise, I wouldn't be reading you this news. I can read you stories that broke today that I have no thoughts on if you'd like. But then what are we going to talk about? But this is the problem I have. And I'm not looking for the negative, Fupy. Fuck you. It literally says Final Fantasy 16 takes its time. This is from somebody who's played it. I want you to read that. I want you to listen to what I'm saying, and you tell me if this is shit or not. Okay? The intro for Final Fantasy XVI takes its time before giving players more agency. The first few sections of the game are primarily cutscenes, a basic combat tutorial, and walking down linear paths. While I didn't time this exactly, I spent most of the first 2 hours in cutscenes. This probably won't deter longtime fans of the series, but new players will face this barrier to entry. While you do get to explore Rosaria's capital of Rosalith, there isn't much outside of the main courtyard. Of course, this could change by final release. The pace picks up significantly after this point. Your introduction to dungeons and boss fights did a good job of presenting the game's basic mechanics. Additionally, the difficulty and complexity ramp up by the time you reach the hub city. Gamers will have to decide for themselves if they want to invest hours of their time watching these early cutscenes without much agency. However, Square Enix did leave me wanting more after the first couple of hours. So, love it if you want, and I'm certainly going to play it. I'm excited about it. But, it sounds terrible the first couple hours, especially for a game that has the kind of combat that looks fucking awesome. So the other thing is this. Again, I'm not knocking it. Let me make it clear. Let me make it clear. I'm excited for this game. I will play it when it comes out. I will buy it on day one. I'm excited. I'm also saying I'm bothered by some of it. Don't lose your fucking pee-pee over it, okay? Listen to this. He did say it was boring. Yeah, he did. Brian E. says he didn't say it was boring. He says the pace picks up significantly. I spent most of the first 2 hours in cutscenes. New players will face this barrier to entry. The first few sections are cutscenes, basic tutorial, and walking linear paths. Yes, I'm reading between the lines, but that doesn't sound positive. That doesn't sound positive. Yeah, Lutron says you'll buy it on day one, but you won't, and you'll watch it on day one. That's right. That's right. I mean, what is the... Francisco says, Jaffe, maybe it's just the initial phase is to give context to the characters, the world, the story. I get it. I understand. I'm saying it's dumb. I don't understand how people make these fucking video games, and they don't look at the pace and go, you know what we should do in the first 2 fucking hours? The guy bought a game, but let's slow. I mean, you can tell a great fucking narrative, and you can still open it with something engaging. Hell, Tears of the Kingdom is just Zelda and Link, you know, exploring a cave, but it's kind of cool. It's something to do. So, you know, whatever. I'm with you, Jaffe, says Van. I know I'm in the minority, but there's nothing worse than having to slog through a slow intro. Yes, I want to play the game. That's why I bought it. I want to be immersed, but let me be immersed when I fucking play it. Azol says, I call it the Steam refund killer. That's fair. I don't want to hit the skip button. SJT Waddle says, just hit the skip button if you want to punch things. I want the whole experience, but I want the whole experience to be made with a respect for good pacing. You know. I love the new Zelda. Orly says cutscenes are immersive. They can be, but not 2 hours of them. Anyway, the other thing was interesting. This was weird. Yeah, well, Aquastorm says Returnal was an example of pacing done right. Yeah. That was great. So this was kind of weird, though. Kotaku came out and was talking to... I think they covered this with Yoshida. I don't know if this was their interview or someone else's, but I read this on Kotaku. And they're talking about the active time lore feature in Final Fantasy XVI, and it has absolutely pissed off a bunch of hardcore fans out in the world. Listen to what the Kotaku article says. They actually say it's from Polygon. In a May 22nd interview with Polygon, Yoshida said that while it was always Square Enix's goal to tell a sweeping epic story with massive ensemble casts, doing such a thing would inevitably lead to confusion. This bewilderment was particularly felt amongst the core development team, which prompted the creation of the active time lore feature, according to Yoshida, the producer. I think it was May in 2019, he said, we brought together pretty much the main stuff from all the sections working on the game, the main staff of all the sections working on the game, and we read through the whole script together. We found that a lot of even the internal core staff were lost. They didn't know what was going on in the game. So we realized all of a sudden we needed some way to support players that were going to feel this way as well. Because if we as the devs are feeling it, the players are definitely going to feel it. And so, of course, you know, my assumption is, well, why don't you just change the script and make it so it's not confusing? But instead, they said, according to Polygon, they created the active time lore, which is basically, all it is you can pause the game at any time. It's almost like a narrative version if you watch movies on Amazon Prime, where you can pause it and get what they call X-ray, and anybody who's on the screen at the moment, you'll see the actor and who they play and all that shit, and it changes depending on the scene and who comes and goes in a scene. Well, you can do the same thing with the active time lore that you can see on your screen, where I guess it's anytime you pause it, all the main aspects of what's happening in the story appear, and you get some text that you can read. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But honestly, if you knew in 2019, that was 4 years ago, if you knew 4 years ago that your narrative didn't make a lick of sense without this, why didn't you just fucking rewrite your narrative, or at least go in and fix the parts that were confusing? According to Polygon, says Kotaku, there are some in-game characters that further explain the disorienting narrative. Loresman Harpocrats shares lore tidbits with you via an unlockable library. Sweet. Sweet. There's nothing more I want than to watch cutscenes and read when I buy a video game. Then there's the political scholar Vivian Ninetails, who can give you the tea on the state of affairs betwixt the realm and its key players, essentially pulling a Pepe Silva. I don't know who that is. Should I know who that is? To map out relationships in the military situation. These characters, coupled with active time lore, sound like welcome additions for a series that's pretty damn difficult to follow. What? What is happening? What is happening? Just fucking rewrite your script. You got 4 fucking years. I'm still excited. I'm very excited. Although the internet is very mad. Kotaku were painting this in the worst way imaginable, says Bring Peanut Butter. But what Final Fantasy XVI did was a feature that gives you a quick summary of what's on the screen. Is useful for people who took a break and need a refresher. Broke is Kotaku sucks because they made a mean headline about Final Fantasy, says Josh Busker of the Cincinnati Buskers. Woke is Kotaku sucks because they took a dev being open about what challenges led them to developing groundbreaking accessibility features and turned it into an opportunity to get rage clicks. It's not accessibility when the story sucks. I'm not saying the story sucks. I'm just saying that if the literal team is telling you the story doesn't make any fucking sense unless you throw in this shit, the solution is not to throw in this shit. This is what you do. This is a Hail Mary pass when you're in beta. And then you kind of get, the testers and the play testers coming back going, we love the game, but what the fuck is this thing about? Shit, man, fucking do this shit quick. It's not what you do 4 years before the game ships. You fucking rewrite it. There's a problem. It's like Ragnarok. Who sat down with God of War and was like, you know what, fellas, the pacing on this is crackerjack. How do you not know? How do you not know? And I know Eric mapped out the goddamn Ragnarok. How do you not know that there's too much or it's confusing? Totally unrelated, but still a great deal of fun. Devon G drops a super chat. He's been a member for 15 months. Thank you, buddy. Here's what he says. He says, where's Andrea Renee going to say when she sees this shit? I think he's talking about the spatulas. Andrea Renee's in the corner. Yeah, I'm being told I should follow these guys, which I guess are old Smosh guys, which I have no beef with, and I have no beef with Andrea. I just don't know why she hates me. Well, that's not true. I have a beef with her, the way she does her work. As a person, she seems fine. Can you imagine walking away from a game like this for a month, says Lutron? I don't play these for story. Yeah, but I mean, I'm not saying what they did is bad. I'm saying the idea that they're doing it to solve a problem that really should have been solved in a different way. I'll give you that when I was in high school, I think it was high school, junior high, whatever, David Lynch put out his movie Dune, right? I had not read the book Dune yet, I don't think. Great fucking series of books. And when you went to the movies to see Dune, I'm not fucking with you. They literally had a printed out booklet that was like a glossary and vocabulary of all these words that the actors are saying, like ornithopter and all this, the Quidditch Heatherack or whatever the fuck these words were. And I'm like, don't you think the movie should have done that? It's not like I went into fucking Star Wars and I was like, okay, I need a prerequisite class I got to take before I know I can watch the movie. It's a little goofy that their solve was this. That's all I'm fucking saying. Singh says people are over exaggerating it. It's a great feature for slower people. Singh, I'm not commenting on the feature. I got no issues with the feature. I am literally telling you what, according to the quote, that the team said. The actual makers of the game 4 years ago said, we don't understand this story. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's convoluted. That's them. That's not me. I'm not blowing out of proportion. I'm telling you what they said. I just think they could have solved it better. But I'm still very much looking forward to this game. Let me ask you guys a question real quick. So, Legend of Zelda, I am absolutely fucking loving this game. It's quite phenomenal, quite great. It makes me feel like I'm going on an adventure. That's the best thing I can say about it. Let me bring in Bookster real quick before we get to Zelda, because I do have a question I don't understand. Bookster, it's Jaffe. What's going on? You want to say something?
Hey, Jeff.
What's going on?
I just had a quick question for when you talk about like the beginnings of games. Do you not like long cutscenes, or do you not like cutscenes at the beginning of the game, or is your problem the slow pacing?
It's the pacing. It's first off. Okay, so here's the mindset that I am in when I buy a video game, and people may be different. Obviously, they're different. It's not that I don't want to be immersed in the story and the narrative and what is this world, but when I buy a game, I'm not in the headspace of I want to sit down and watch cutscenes. I want to sit down and go, I want to play. And over time, once they've earned my interest, I don't mind cutscenes, and I don't mind something kind of short at the beginning if it needs to set something up, although I would argue that very few games need that. You could write around that and then explain the fiction later. But my mind when I go into a video game is I want to play. I don't want to watch. I want to be active. That's why I bought a game and didn't buy a ticket to a movie. And it's there is a whole generation of gamer that has come up, and it's subjective. They're not wrong and I'm not right, but vice versa, right? It's for me, a whole generation of gamers have come up, and to them, that's what a game is. It's this pastiche of non-interactivity and walking, but you're not really doing anything but listening to dialogue and reading notes in horror games and things that I just go abstractly at a video game design level. None of those things are compelling. Every now and then, the cutscene is good enough, which is exceptionally rare, to counter my brain that wants to have agency. And I think Death Stranding 1 is a great example of that. Death Stranding 1 opens with a shit ton of cutscenes, but the fact is, they're not only well done, but more importantly, they are engaging, and they make you go, okay, what is going on in this world? I could live with that. But most of the cutscenes are not very good at a storytelling level. They're just whatever. And I'm like, can we please get on with the game? So that's my take. That's my take.
Okay. I'll have to disagree with you on the Death Stranding part, but I was more or less just curious. So because I wasn't getting the full picture, I was like, do you just not like cutscenes in general? Which I know you've mentioned in the past that's not your favorite thing. You want to play the game. I don't prefer
them, but I don't hate them. I just would prefer them not be used as the crutch most games use them as. But I don't mind them, but certainly don't feed them to me at the very beginning. Earn my interest. Don't assume that I'm going, especially with more and more games eventually going cloud and subscription services. You may have most gamers today because they've spent $70, so they're in for the long haul. A lot of them are. But that's lazy. You shouldn't assume people give a fuck. You should be like, I got to sing for my supper every 10 minutes or they're going to play something else. And I don't think most developers think that way. And I think that's a real problem.
Yep.
All right, man. Thanks, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
All right. Okay. Hey, by the way, it did not leave my brain pan that the Twisted Metal, look at this, the Twisted Metal clips, which is a fascinating title. Do you have a channel that shows Twisted Metal clips? Twisted Metal Clips has joined the highest tier. They have gone clear. They have crossed the bridge. They have gotten into the room and opened the box and realized that Scientology is a load of crap and Xenu is the actual craziest fucking thing. I'm surprised that Scientology doesn't collapse when anybody, after spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to discover that, discovers it, and they're like, you're out of your fucking mind. But that said, though, Twisted Metal Clips has gone clear because we are not Scientology. We're the best goddamn game YouTube show on the internet. And buddy, that's really generous. I appreciate it. If you have anything you want me to plug, I'll plug you on not every show, but almost every show. Definitely send me what you want for the credits. I'm putting pictures up of the God of War members for credits, and whatever else you get with that tier, which is quite a bit. Hopefully, we'll see you on the Cliffy B episode of the Gabbin&Games Game Club coming up. Hello, Michael McGehee. Hadn't seen Michael McGehee in a while. Good to see you, buddy, as always. Thank you for that, Twisted Metal, though. Very, very generous. Appreciate it. Okay. Xenu is real. You're not even spelling it right, Ricardo. That's how little you've gone clear with the Scientology people. I know them. I've gone clear, and it didn't do shit for me. Okay, so Lutron says, I'm not sure how you're going to fare with Final Fantasy if you felt the new God of War had bad pacing. I mean, do you hear it has bad pacing, this game? And I'm sorry, but I don't think I'm alone in thinking that Ragnarok had bad pacing. Come on. Who out there is like, dude, it was perfectly fucking paced? No, it wasn't. It was too slow. And that's not my ADD. I'm sure it was more exacerbated because of my ADD, but it was too fucking slow and you know it. You were in a coma? You were not. Were you really in a coma? Michael McGee says he was in a coma. I need to know about this. You have to call in. I want to talk to you at the end of the show if you were actually in a coma. Arathizl says, no, it doesn't have bad pacing. You aren't going to like it, Jaffe. God of War was fine. I loved God of War 2018. God of War 2018 was awesome. The pacing was great. God of War Ragnarok had amazing parts to it. But my God, there were parts where it was just like, oh, come on. Jaffe has bad priorities in gaming. Fuck you, bitch. I am the visionary. I am the one that really knows what's going down. Y'all are just sitting there talking like you say the shit the press tells you to say. Fucking, what is your name? Where'd he go? Saber Zero, you troll fuck. Here's what I want to know. You were in a coma. Did you dream? Did you have any awareness? Any thoughts? Or you just like fell asleep and woke up X number of days, weeks, months later? Jaffe, the get out of my lawn of video games. What does that sound? I'll give you that. Don't do a call in. That's all I wanted to know. I'll give you the number for later when we're talking about that shit. But I would love to know that. Listen, Legend of Zelda. I got to ask you guys this. I know you want. Maybe at the end of the show, I'll give you the number if I have enough energy. Oh, Ravenous, go fuck yourself. Listen to me. So I am loving Zelda. People, where's the caveat, Jaffe? I'm loving Zelda. I don't know if it's my favorite game of the year. It might still be Resident Evil, but I'm loving it. But that said, though, what I still don't understand, Jack Steele, we do have a Discord, buddy. It's, sorry, I should. Ricardo's like, dude, finish a thought. Don't read the chat. I know. It's in the, go down below in the about this video, and you'll see it. So anyway, so I love it. I fucking love it. But what the weapon durability has not gotten any better. It is, why is it there? Like, I understand game design pretty well. I understand the value of creating limits for the player. I understand the value of creating challenges for the player that don't seem fun at first, and then you realize how it all fits together. But why in the living cockadoodie fuck is weapon durability in this game? Right? And it's not even like you have a meter to, not that that would make it better, but at least you could kind of go, okay, I'm about to, then you could at least kind of understand, okay, I'm about to break this sword. I've got about one more battle with it. That means I'm going to have to approach this battle differently because I know there's a big boss coming around the corner. At least, even though I still wouldn't necessarily like it, I'd go, okay, that's an interesting design philosophy. I may not love it, and it may not have been the way I would go, but I get it. But in this case, you don't have that data to make choices. The only bar you have, which isn't really a bar, is when it's about to die. You have to pause the game and see that it's glowing red, but that's when it's on its like last 2 or 3 hits. Jaffe, use the weapons. You know how to make new ones, and you can get any unique weapon back later. I don't know how to make all the weapons. I don't know how to make when I find an axe, for example. Are you telling me I can craft an axe without having to find an axe so I can fight the trees that come to life? I get that I can fuse and put weapons together, but it's not like and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I haven't gotten to this part, but it's not like Minecraft where it's like, oh, to make an axe you need a pile of wood and 2 stones. Where is that? I mean, you know, but what do you fuse together though? Like, how do you know what to fuse to make it? I do set the trees on fire. Yeah. Fuse a stick and a blade. You fuse a stone to a wood and it becomes an axe. How would I know that? Because certain rocks might look like axe heads, then I would know it. Ravno says you can't craft weapons. Yeah, rocks that are flat, I just assumed it's not going to do any damage because there's no sharp point on it. You fuse a stone that looks like an axe head. Well, how do I fucking find that? Again, I'm not knocking the game. I love it. I mean, okay, let me ask you guys that are explaining it, though. Here's the question. Yeah, you can put boulders on the end of your thing. I know that. Yeah, I wish you could craft arrows, too, Ian Anderson. I hate that I have to fucking find those things. All that said, though, do you feel that the weapon durability should go? Should it be turned up? I don't also like that I find a weapon and I'm like, well, I can't really connect with it and get invested in that weapon because I know it's going to break in a couple of minutes. Is there something you can find later that lets you heal a weapon so you can, keep it together? The Master Sword, yeah, but you can't get that right away. I hate it in Breath of the Wild. I don't mind it here, says Doom. Ravno says it should go. Astro Cyborg says it's perfect. Okay. Right now, what is your Tears of the Kingdom rating? Oh, okay, so you can find something to heal it. I guess my rating on the game would be like a 9 out of 10 at the moment. I don't know if it'll stay there, but it's just a treat, man. I mean, it makes me feel like a little kid playing this game. It makes me feel like when I was a kid playing Atari games and I was ignorant as a layperson, not in the business, and I was also ignorant as a child, and I just assumed any and everything was possible. But this game actually makes you feel that way because it kind of sort of feels like it shows you that it is. I mean, not literally, but, when you think about this game, what's amazing about it is it feels so good that you can solve things. Like, as a designer, man, I would have been like, back in the day, hopefully I've evolved, but I would have been like, back in the day, I would have been like, no, we can't do that because it'll break all the puzzle design. You can just solve it this way or that way. And now I'm like, that's amazing. Because the feeling you get when you solve it your way and go, I wonder if I could do, oh shit, that makes you feel really smart. That makes you feel really creative. That's like the play mechanic version of the holodeck where the story is writing itself to your choices. It's pretty fucking great. I love it. I'm giving it right now. It's a 9 out of 10. I'm gonna play it for another week before I give it an official review for whatever that's worth. But if Yuppie says the story's cookie cutter, I don't play it for that. I did see that Admiral, the producer said, I can't say his name. Is it Onuma? Aonuma? Said the 1 year delay was to polish the physics and just the game in general. Yeah. And the shrines are great, D'Angelo. I agree. I'm doing that too, Kenneth. Let me tell you, Kenneth says I'd just be building really long bridges with logs. So I got to this one thing last night, which was like a treasure chest on a mountain, but there were all those spikes sticking around it, right? And there were some fans down below. And I'm like, well, I guess it wants me to make some kind of airship that flies up. But I'm like, right around the corner was like Hyrule Field renovation building parts. So I just made this massive fucking bridge with the side of houses and just put it between two mountains and walked across and dropped it and got it. It was awesome. It's a great fucking game. Listen, I want to tell you something else that's really fucking great. Is the holidays are coming up. That's not true. But it should be true because that's how good DayOne Patch Kids are. DayOne Patch Kids are a blend of the greatest video game characters in the world, smushed together with love and a little bit of fecal paste. It doesn't matter. The point is, it really is quite great. They smush together that with the Garbage Pail Kids, and you get these great stickers and t-shirts and curtains and clocks and pillows and sheets and all kinds of wonderful stuff you can put these on. There are ones for God of War. There's one for Solo Her. There's one for Ryu. They are funny. They are weird. They are vulgar. I highly recommend it. The link is below. The link is also in the newsletter. It is it is delightful. Ricardo, who's supposed to go to bed, I'm sorry, he just distracted me. He says, improve the view and get your head out of the way. I don't know what he's talking about. Are you saying the microphone is in the way? Well, I'll have you know, sir, that the microphone that I will be getting today from the wonderfully generous people at Last Stand Media will allow me to position the microphone in a way that it can be below me, like the fine folks, Colin and Dustin and all that. I meant remove your screen. What? Oh, you mean, yeah, that. Okay, fuck you. Okay, do I like Final Fantasy? I do. I'm not like a hardcore Final Fantasy guy, but sure, I like some of them. Silver Joystick, you just pre-ordered Street Fighter 6 and MK1 on PC. Interesting. Yeah, I have not pre-ordered. I don't pre-order digital products, but a lot of people do for some weird reason. And you may be one of them, unless you got a physical, which I get. I totally get buying physical and pre-ordering. Because most people who buy physical these days are collectors. Have you heard any Xbox players hating right now? Hating what? David says MK1 looks horrible. I don't think they've released gameplay. Wasn't all that footage CG? Do you think Spider-Man will do something cool with its open world? I have no idea. I hope. I mean, look. One of the problems with the first Spider-Man, and I didn't have this problem with Miles as much, but one of the problems with the first Spider-Man was indeed the open world problem of letting the player design the pacing. And so for me in Spider-Man 1, I spent all my time collecting all the memorabilia first, and I got them all. And then when I was done, I went back and focused on the story, but I had played so much at that point that I was kind of bored. And it wasn't that I didn't love the game. It was one of my favorite games that year. But I'm really opposed to this whole... I think there's a balance where you want to give the player the freedom to do whatever they want, like Tears of the Kingdom. But at the same time, you don't abdicate responsibility as the entertainer that you are as a member of the design team. And you want to make sure that you don't go so off the rails that they end up having not a great time, because I think they assume, well, if they're bored, they just won't do that anymore. No. Sometimes your demons overrule your angels and you have compulsions. I have to collect everything. I have to finish this mission. I have to do this. I have to do that. And in that, it really fucks up your pacing. So I think a lot of open world design doesn't fix that. I actually thought Days Gone was probably one of the best open world games that they gave you enough to do that it felt like you had freedom, but it wasn't like you could do 100 things. Go choose it, buddy. I'm like, no, that's your job to entertain me. Don't fucking tell me, it's too much. It's too much. I just want to be entertained. I don't know. Yes, I'm almost certain. Ricardo is asking, does DayOne Patch Kids ship to Europe? DayOne Patch Kids sells its stuff through places like TeePublic, RedTube. So if you go to the link below, you'll see the different places. And I know one of them, if not all of them, do indeed ship to Europe. What I will tell you, I don't know if Rotten Tanuki, who runs this company and makes all these, is going to do it. But he made a Jeff Keighley one the other day when Jeff came on the show. And because we had so many technical issues, no shit, I couldn't really share it with him at the time. But I hope he makes one. I don't know if you can, because he's based on a real person, but he is a public figure. But he has one that I think is really cool, and hopefully we'll get to see the Keeley one. Do you think Carnage will be? Thank you for the super chat. I can't say your name, but thank you. I think you have an eagle or a chimera. I don't know, but legendary maybe. Do you think Carnage? Thank you though. Will be in Spider-Man 2 or future DLC? I think. Well, here's what we know. Because there was the comic book, right? There was here's what I can tell you, which I'm actually more excited about this. Spider-Man 2 Insomniac comic. So the free comic book day was the prequel to Spider-Man 2. Just like they did originally. So, and this is actually available now if you want to read this online. But if you go through it, it's a real comic. It's not like it's like a 24-page comic. But what's great about it is Tarantula's in there. And so my assumption is Tarantula's going to be in the game. If you don't know Tarantula's fucking cool. Let me see. Tarantula, Spider-Man. Let's see. Like the classic Tarantula is this guy. He's got these kind of spiked boots, right? His very famous cover. I think this is a pretty valuable comic if you own it. But the new Tarantula that was in the Insomniac comic is a little bit more like a really athletic Dr. Octopus. Like he's got more arms and shit. He's pretty fucking cool. But as for Carnage, maybe. But I think I'd rather all their focus go to Venom and other enemies, because Carnage and Venom are so similar. If I remember correctly, it's been a while. The dude with the pointy shoes, yes. But if you look, I wish I could show you. Let me just show you what he looks like now. Spider-Man 2. Oh, Kraven is in the game? Oh, that's awesome. I love Kraven. Spider-Man 2 Insomniac free comic. He narrates the trailer. Oh, yeah. Well, Bookster, I agree Carnage is better than Venom, but Venom is more popular. And if you're going to have Venom, then it does make you wonder, why do you need, why would you need the Carnage, basically? How do I find it? I want to find it. Yeah, it was Kraven's voice in the trailer. Okay, Hobgoblin, awesome, Tatum. I would love Hobgoblin. You're saying Green Goblin is in it? Let me click it real quick. Here it is. I don't know why I'm obsessed with showing you guys Tarantula, but it's cool. I like Tarantula. Come on now. There's Tarantula, right? It's like a very lithe, fast Doc Ock, but he's got like guns on his arms, and it's not just like the thing. And he's got the spike shoes, and it'd be fun to fight. If Carnage says Legendary will be in it, it will have to be M-rated. No, it won't. I don't know why you think that. But I'm excited. I love Spider-Man so much. I mean, you guys don't understand. Younger people, thank you though, Legendary. And why do you think that? But thank you for the super chat. But I don't know why you assume that, Carnage would have to be M-rated. But, a lot of younger people are like, you're spoiled. I'm just going to tell you, you're fucking spoiled brats, okay? Because let me show you, this is what your old Papa Jaffe grew up with, and I couldn't get to the TV fast enough. Spider-Man Electric. The only Spider-Man that we got that was live action was this guy, okay? Literally, on the Electric Company, which was kind of like a little bit more of an not adult, but grown-up Sesame Street, you got to see, here he is fighting, I don't know who that is. You literally got to see Spider-Man live. Oh, and this song. Oh, I heard that from the TV room and I went racing down the fucking stairs, man. Look at this. Look at Spider-Man. I didn't care. I didn't give a fuck. Tony Todd is Venom. Oh, look at that. I mean, look at that. That was what I got. That was my Spider-Man. So fuck you. I'll take anything. People are like, I'm sick of the MCU. Fuck you, motherfucker. Look what we got. This is what we got. This is the geek version of walking to snow in the Depression, 10 miles to and from school. Fuck you. Yoker, thank you for the super chat. He says, Tony Todd as Venom has me hyped. I'm excited. I want to see it. I'm excited. Yeah, Cletus Cassidy is a serial killer. Max says, in terms, Cletus is Carnage. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I don't know. I know you could certainly play him R-rated, but you can also, it's hard to imagine that Wolverine, any Wolverine would never be R-rated, but you've got R-rated, you've got M-rated, or sorry, kid-rated Wolverine cartoons in the 90s, so you can make it work, but I certainly think it probably isn't what fans want. Maybe they put Carnage and Wolverine, which is going to be an M, right? When are you going to get a Superman game? I don't know. People are under this weird idea that it's hard to make a Superman game. It's such a stupid thing. So fucking dumb. I just want to let you know about this, by the way. I was just on the show. It's brand new. It's mostly brand new. They haven't been around that long. Not brand new. But they're good people. They're funny, articulate. They're clean. They clean themselves. What are you talking about, Jaffe? The boys over at the Button Basher game team, they have podcast reviews and interviews. It is linked down below. There is a video up right now, an interview we did. I really enjoyed this interview. It was a 2-hour interview I did with them a couple of weeks ago. Actually 12 days ago. There you go. And it was interesting because they actually asked me a number of questions that I don't usually get asked. Like, I'll do almost an interview with anybody if I have time, but usually it's like, how'd you get started? Blah, 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 blah. And after, you're just like, if you really care about listening to an interview with me, you've probably already heard those stories. These guys had some fresh questions. We had a really good conversation. I'm going to put a link in the chat right now, but it's also on our newsletter and it's also on our link tree, and it's below this video. So I would check these guys out if you're in the market for a group of folks that are fun to listen to, talking about the video games we all love. Button Basher Gaming Team is live, and it's worth your time, I think. Wolverine game will be R or M rated. Yeah, I think that's what they've said, or they've hinted at. Yeah, absolutely. Superman, though, yeah, I mean, I've said it before. It's like the idea that, well, Superman's got no weakness. And I'm just like, he's not real. He's a fantasy character. He's not like One Punch Man. He gets his ass kicked almost every other comic. What are you talking about? Figure it out. I mean, that's what writers do. Come up with the reason that, the enemies he's fighting. They have, Lex Luthor engineered kryptonite DNA, and then he raised a bunch of fucking kids, in a lead underground compound. And now that they're old enough to go fight, he's released them into the world, and they have kryptonite DNA, and he gets his ass kicked by them. I mean, it's not hard. They've given him an amazing weakness. He also has emotional weaknesses. People have said, it's a cliche at this point, but people have said, I think there was a tease or a test of this or something where it was like, give a health bar to Metropolis, or give a health bar to Lois Lane. And when that dies, that's how you kill Superman. You break his fucking heart. I don't get why this is a real fucking problem. I just think people don't think it through. I want to run something by you. I almost know what you're going to say. I kind of know what you're going to say, but I want to run it by you anyway. Listen to this. This is fucking fascinating. You probably know what you're looking at. Maybe you don't. Look at this on the screen. If you're listening, and not watching, it's a flat screen TV hanging on somebody's wall. There's a sound bar. It looks like it's got a built-in camera, a couple built-in cameras maybe. And then there's this kind of other screen down below. This is a free television. You can get this for free. Okay? This is called is it called the Telly? What is it called? It's called the hang on, Telly. New TV system. Here's what it does. There is the main screen right here at the top, nice big TV screen. And then you've got this bar down here, a second screen. And on it, it'll give you updates and news and all kinds of things down here. And then to the right, there's a little box. And the box shows ads 24/7. It doesn't show ads, as far as I know, with audio, so it's not going to keep you awake. Certainly, you could unplug it if you don't want to see ads when the TV's off, or you could put books in front of it. You just put you could put a statue right here if you don't want to see it. But it's a free fucking TV. Doomslayer says this is so stupid. What are you talking about? Who the fuck? I would get this if it comes out here. I'll get it. I could use a couple TVs in my house that are not where they are now. Let me tell you, and Ricardo put this together. I hadn't heard about this, but let me just give you a couple of details on this. See when it's available. New type of TV coming from Samsung, LG, and Vizio. Completely free. A company created by Pluto TV co-founder offers up a TV, this is all from The Verge, that makes for its non-existent price tag by showing constant ads in a second smaller display. The company calls the thin strip of a screen Smart Display, which is separated from the main TV by a soundbar. In addition to showing ads, it's capable of displaying a variety of widgets: sports scores, news ticker, weather, stock prices. Ads could pop up on the far right, as shown in the pictures, but might also appear in the form of a sponsored news feed on the left side. When I co-founded Pluto, says the CEO, the ex-CEO, we created an entirely new model that offered amazing TV content for free. Now with Telly, we're providing the actual television. While ads shouldn't interrupt whatever you're watching on the main screen, the ads might utilize both displays when you're not watching the TV. When the theater display is not in use, the ad unit could come to life in a fun way. There are literally hundreds of things we're thinking about. So if I have this somewhere and there's an ad on this and I'm not watching TV, then I would just fucking unplug it. Because that might be a bridge too far, unless they go, well, if you unplug it for more than X, you don't get I don't fucking know. But it's a 55-inch 4K HDR panel. See when it comes out. There's a camera, free advanced motion tracking fitness programs that come with the TV. Again, I'll just cover it up with a piece of tape. Equipped with a camera and microphone paid for by the brands that show you the ads. Clear privacy implications that might go beyond tracking used by Roku. It may collect information about the audio and video content you watch, the channels you view, and the duration of your sessions, along with information about how you interact with the TV. That includes your searches, buttons you select, as well as physical presence of you and any individuals using the TV. If you choose to opt out of data collection, you'll either have to return the TV or pay the presumed cost of the screen, which is about $500. It ships with 40 different video games, AI-driven voice assistant. They want you to have this thing. Where do I get it? You can visit Free Telly to reserve one of the 500,000 free devices they start shipping this summer. I'll do it. I'll fucking do it. As long as I don't have to listen to the ads, that's the thing. And as long as I don't have to like ship it back if I unplug it. Although maybe that's what they're thinking. If they're thinking that's the data collection, you have the right to opt out of sharing your viewing and activity. But unfortunately, it means you will no longer have access to the services and must return the TV. So the question is, if I have that fucking full screen showing me ads and I'm like, dude, that's annoying, then that's a different, I need to find that out. But short of that, I don't care. This idea of my data, I don't give a shit. We give our data away all the time. I'm in. You signed up for it, Ghetto God. Have you gotten it yet? Or you haven't gotten it yet? Jaffe, thank you, Legendary, with the super chat, buddy. He says, if we get a new Twisted game announcement tomorrow, I will have 10 shots of whiskey for you. Huge shout out for making my childhood special. Thank you, buddy, on behalf of all of us who made your childhood special with that game. We appreciate it. I think Keeley didn't confirm it, but I read Keeley's, body language as saying that the Twisted Metal series is probably going to drop a new trailer at Summer Game Fest. As for the game, I don't know, man. If I can't fathom that they greenlit the game for any reason other than the TV show, but they might have. Maybe the game was in production a long time before. But given that the game, the show, if it is tied in, comes out in June, I'd be stunned if I wouldn't be stunned, but it would not surprise me if Twisted Metal is there tomorrow in some form or fashion regarding the game. Here becomes the question, though. So when you're looking at this, and I don't know what it would look like, but would you do this if somebody came to you and said, hey, you can do this with the PlayStation 5 or a fucking hard-ass big rig gaming PC. If somebody said you can get this great fucking game PC, but you know, the monitor it comes with has a little bar. It's not going to block your main screen, but there's like a sub bar where it does show ads. I'd do it. I'd fucking do it. I don't know. Free? Free's good. I like free. And they're like, yes, Jaffe, that's what they're counting on. But again, it doesn't bother me. I mean, people are like, yeah, but they'll take your data. What are they going to do with it? And I don't mean I like that they're taking it, but you know, if PlayStation put out a fucking, are they still making games for PC? Haha, yeah. There is always a cost, okay? But, you know, if PlayStation put out a PS5 Pro and said, you can get it for free, but every time, you know, every 5 times you boot it up or wake it up, you'll see a 20-second ad. I go, okay, works for me. Why would I want to drop $500 when I can just watch some fucking ads? But I may be alone in that. Maybe it's, you know, younger generation, of which most people who watch the show are younger. Maybe they've been raised to kind of feel more that it's sinister. I don't think it's sinister. I think it's just, you know, it's greedy, but hell, I don't want to fucking pay either. That is not how it would work, Jaffe. Well, how would it work? None of us know yet, right? Total Package, been a member, thank you, buddy, for 18 months. He says, it's going to have a microphone listening at all times. Yeah. I don't care. I mean, what do you think? I have like 5 Alexas here. I'm almost certain she's listening all the time. Not just for Alexa, but what do I care? Like, conceptually, it's problematic. But practically, who cares? I don't know. That's my take, fellas. All right. She is listening all the time. So, I mean, again, I'm not saying I'm not right about this. I know it's a heated debate. Like, my brother won't do any of it. He won't do the AI. He won't do the Alexas for the most part. He's just like, no fucking way. I don't want that shit. I think it's evil. I get it. I respect that. But for me, I just don't. And I don't mean it like this. I don't mean it like, you know, I didn't do anything wrong. I have nothing to be afraid of. That's not my argument. But my point is, it's like, you want to spy on my shit and I get free hardware? Okay. Because I got nothing to hide. But, you know, Jon Snow, am I making a guest appearance on Twisted Metal? They asked me to, but I didn't want to fly because it was COVID. But if they get a second season, which I hope they do, then sure, I would love to. I would love to. Listen to this, though. What about Game Pass? So what if Game Pass came out and said, Game Pass is free, assuming you liked it. Let's say PS Plus, because I know a lot of people here are more Sony than Game Pass. But PS Plus comes out, premium, and Game Pass comes out and says, look, whenever you boot a game, it's free, but you got a 10-second ad. Not 30 ads like YouTube has been doing lately. It's a 10-second ad every time you boot up a game. Not when you switch to a game, like with Quick Resume, but if you boot up a new game, or you boot up the system, or you haven't turned it on for like 24 hours, you get a 10-second ad. I would do it. Would you guys not do that? Let's put up a poll. Let's put up a cockadoodie goddamn poll. I want to see what you guys would think. Hang on. Is it right here? Yeah. Poll. Free Game Pass or PS Plus, but 10-sec ads at times. All right, there's your poll. Let's see what you guys would say. It should be up there at the top. Okay. I hate ads. This total package, I wouldn't do it. It's why I pay and got no ads on all streaming. Sure. I mean, I pay for YouTube Premium and I love it. Okay, well, that's weird, Ghetto God. Ghetto God says, I watch 2 15-second unstoppable ads every time Jaffe goes live. I thought if you're a member, you didn't get ads, or maybe that's entirely separate. Maybe it's maybe the membership has nothing to do with the premium, YouTube Premium. I don't know. All right, so look at that. It's 50-50. Pretty much. It's vacillating, but yes is 47, no is 53. Now it's kind of moving, 55-45. I wouldn't do it for PS Plus. It depends on the subscription. Yeah, Kevin says YouTube Premium is worth it, right? If the ads play while I'm playing games, no. It's when you boot up a new game, or when you go back to the system and turn it on and wake it after, let's say, every 15 hours, or pretty much that, right? Those would be the two things. It's 10 seconds, but you get it for free. You get ads on your TV, Ravno, so it sounds like you're doing this kind of telly thing anyway. Brian says, why would you want ads in your video games? I'm not saying you did, I'm asking. But the ads wouldn't be in your video games. They would be before your games, but you would get your games for free. It's 10 seconds. It's not like, you got to sit down and watch like 2 minutes of it. Yeah, I don't think during gameplay. No, I agree. All right. Fellas, listen. Let's be clear on a couple of things. Is it the end of this show? It's about to be. But I'll tell you something. It ain't the end of the Cockadoodie Gabbin&Games, because tomorrow is a big one. We are going live. The show starts at 1 o'clock tomorrow. The PlayStation Showcase kicking off I think I'm calling it E3-2. Ricardo doesn't like it, but I like it. Like, you get it's part 2 of E3. Whatever, fuck you. But that kicks it all off. And then I think there's an Alone in the Dark presentation coming up this week. We've got Keeley's show. We've got Ubisoft Forward. Of course, we have Xbox. We have Starfield. It's going to be a great month. Great month here at Gabbin&Games. Hopefully you'll join us for a bunch of those live streams. But we will be doing this tomorrow at 1. Actually, we'll probably start at 12:15, so we have a little bit of a pre-show. Brian says, thank you for addressing my name, Jaffe. I feel special. Is that all it takes? Aim higher, my good sir. Aim higher. Puppet8 says, will you be interviewing Gene Park again? I probably could. Is there some reason right now that we should talk to Gene? But that's happening. And thank you, RPG. That's right. Click the link tree. I appreciate it. RPG, one of our mods. Thank you so much. Ricardo says, not E3. Thank you, Michael McGeehee. Jim Ryan, I'll answer that in just a second. It's fun. It's a fun question. Hang on. But I do want to, I want to remind you real quick before we answer this question, which is from Jim Ryan. He says, why do you think most of the games business thinks I'm toxic? We'll talk about that in just a second. But I do want to remind you, though, Cliff Bleszinski is coming on the show Saturday. He will be talking to us all about Gears of War, the first one, as our Games Club kicks into high gear. That's our first game from the Gabbin&Games Game Club. Thursday is an encore, because I fucked up the sound of the first Games Club, where just the members talk about Gears of War. That will be happening Thursday around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I'll let you know. The Gabbin&Games newsletter is now live. You can find the links down below. I'll also put it in the chat right now. We have an exclusive interview in that with Mike Ybarra, who is the president of Blizzard Entertainment. He used to work for Xbox. He actually addresses hardcore video game executives at Xbox or not at Xbox. It was a good chat. It was a good thing he did for us. I really appreciate it. And then also, don't forget, the show is on YouTube Music. You can listen to it as a podcast. The Keeley interview is up. and it is available to members now. It will be free on Friday. And I think that's all I wanted to remind you. And then, yeah, don't forget tomorrow. Listen to this. Lutron has just gifted to Wallace Shawn a membership to the Jaffe channel. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy. It's very generous and very kind. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you guys who are gifting the memberships out there. Lutron, thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate it, man. I'll get to the toxic thing in a second. Legends says, who remembers Cliffy B's Just Jackrabbit? I do. And I loved reading. Again, I'm not like pawning his book or shilling his book. It's right back there, though. I'm surprised how much I am enjoying Control Freak, which is the book Cliff wrote about his career. And he covers Jackrabbit in there, and he does cover Dare to Dream. I mean, the thing, Kevin, that is, he's talking about a game Cliff made that was kind of like about his experience. Like I think like losing his dad and all this stuff. It amazes me to read this book and find that so many things have inspired Cliff that are personal and emotional and political that he put directly in his games. Whereas I think most people would be stunned to hear Gears of War 1, for example, is inspired by Cliff's anti-Bush II take on the Iraq War, and how Gears of War 1 is a metaphor for the war in Iraq and how we went into a country to take people's oil. It was kind of amazing. It's kind of amazing all that stuff was there, and a lot of people don't think about Cliff in that way. Great fucking book. Great fucking book. Good night, Ricardo. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you, sir. So why am I a toxic? I mean, look, I don't know. Jim Ryan says, Jaffe, why do you think most of the games business thinks you're a toxic personality? Look, I don't know anymore my reputation. I was talking to Keeley the other day. I reached out to Jeff and I was just like, I don't know, I've been very honest about my feelings. And I told him in the interview that I think all award shows are stupid, but that's at a sort of conceptual level about judging creativity. But I make it also clear every year I watch the Game Awards and I say it's brilliantly made, brilliantly produced. It gets more and more entertaining every year. Well, I don't know Jeff that well. I assumed, okay, maybe I burned that bridge, but I'm not going to say what I think. I'll tell you the stuff I like and the stuff I don't, and do with that what you will. And he was like, oh no, I'd love to come on the show. It'd be fun. So I don't know what the industry thinks of me anymore, but I certainly think that there are people in the industry that, and I stir the pot sometimes because I find, here's what it is. Would you like to know? I don't mean to bore you, but we're at the end of the show, so I'll just chat with you guys for a bit if you don't mind. When I was a kid in like 3rd grade, 4th grade, I may have told this before, but whatever. It's a good story, I think. The teacher hands out this like 20 question thing, like, just questions like, what's your favorite movie? Just fun questions. The first question was, put your name at the top. That was your first instruction. Second instruction was read the whole thing before you fill it out. Third was like, what is your favorite TV show you're watching right now? Then it went into music. What's your favorite teacher? Whatever. And the very last instruction question was, don't answer any of these questions except question one, which was put your name on it. And it was an exercise in, do people actually pay attention? Or do they allow themselves to get swept up in headlines and hype, and they don't really read before they form an opinion or take an action? And it stuck with me. And I think in a lot of ways, I do intentionally not mislead, but I intentionally say things that I know are parsed in a way, or I say things in a way where it's clear what I'm really saying if you explore the actual semantics of it, and then if you actually read or listen to what I'm saying. But I will say things from time to time, maybe more than that if you're just kind of lazy about it, you'll think I'm one thing. And I enjoy that because I like calling people out when they think I'm one thing and I'm like, I'm not. So I guess if I'm going to live in that world and make those decisions, I get that there are people who are going to fall for it, and there are going to be those consequences where people think I'm toxic, I guess. That's what I would say. That would be my assumption. Hey, Random Moose Brains, 31 months, Cult Calypso, buddy. I appreciate it. Jaffe, wins Starship Troopers Extermination? I don't know. I want to play Bolt Gun first, but I hear it's great, man. It's co-op, right? We should do a game night maybe for it. Bolt Gun says Mutant Mo, speaking of Bolt Gun, is the ultimate grilled cheese game. The Warhammer 40K IP topping is the onions and peppers mixed in. I don't like onions and peppers, but I understand your point. I will be playing it very, very soon, maybe even tonight, but I don't know yet. Jaffe, do I have to pay for Midjourney? You do. I don't know if I know there's like a free, like you get a certain amount of free roll of the dice, but I pay for it. I pay for that, and I pay for OpenAI. Hang on. 16 players is Starship Troopers. Okay, cool. What's your prediction on the PlayStation Showcase? Actually, funny you should ask. If you look at the videos on this very channel, me, Ricardo, Man Cave, and Red Dead Viking did a prediction show, and then we also got the chat's predictions, and they're all on a spreadsheet that we'll be looking at tomorrow during the show. So if you want to know what I predict, all of that is available on, I think it was Friday's Gabbin&Games, that has me and Jim Ryan and the PlayStation Showcase in the thumbnail. I believe that's when it was. Okay. John Drake. I don't know who John Drake is. That's Andrea Renee's husband, says Jake. I have no idea. Do I have any hopes RoboCop will be good? I think it'll be good in the way Bolt Gun is good and the way Terminator Resistance is good. I don't expect it to be, more than a brilliantly fun B-level game, but that's great sometimes. Okay. Just making sure. Howard Stern ripped on AVGN. Who's AVGN? Thinks we're all like him, LOL. AVG Afghan? I don't know who that is. Who's AVGN, you guys? He's the VP at Disney's game division. And I have no idea who he is. He was probably there after I had left, or I was doing Bartlett Jones. Did I work on Downhill Domination? No. I played a little Riders Republic. Angry Video Game Nerds. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I like Howard Stern, but Howard Stern's also what? 69, 70 years old or something? I mean, he probably, I don't think he's walking around with a real understanding of the medium and how prevalent it is beyond just sort of the stereotypes, I did not play that Struggle Boxing, the Japanese exclusive GameCube. No, never heard of it actually. I don't know AVGN. I don't know. I mean, I've heard of Angry Video Game Nerd. I'm sure I've watched a couple of his videos or their videos, but I didn't know the acronym. When am I streaming Zelda again, Jake? I don't know if I am. Because I'm so immersed in it that I really kind of don't know if I want to. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream it anymore, but I might. I'm just enjoying my time living in that world so much. I want to talk to you guys about that. You guys remember that video called "I Am a Gamer"? We'll talk about that on the next show. I have things to say about it. It occupies a place in my head more than it needs to. That video, if you know what I'm talking about, look it up. I'm a Gamer on YouTube. So, all right, fellas, but that is it. Ricardo, thank you. Mods, thank you. New members, welcome. Super chats, and monthly chats from longtime members. Thank you guys. Everybody who tuned in to hang out and talk about video games. I sure appreciate it. I appreciate you giving our little show a chance. It's nice to have you here. I'm so excited for the next month of video game news. I might stream tonight. I don't know. We're watching Maisel, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel right now. And then Ricardo says, Jeff, you got to watch this show, The Great, about Catherine the Great with Elle Fanning. And I started watching that. That's pretty fucking good too. So I don't know. But if I'm not, maybe I'll do some streaming. The point is, though, this is exciting times. I'll see you tomorrow around 12:15 for the pre-show, and then we'll watch, hopefully, the show together, the PlayStation, the showcase. Then we'll talk about it. Twisted Metal Clips, again, man, welcome to the God of Wars. Thank you so much for being that generous and supporting the show like that. Let me know if I can do anything for you or your channel or whatever you want me to talk about. Get with your membership like a 20, 30-second pitch. Happy to do it. All right, fellas, I'm out. Be well. Bye, everyone. Not yet. Not yet. Play the music, Jaffe. By the way, the great Alex Plox. Go fucking listen to his shit, man. There's links below. He's good people. He's got really good synthy shit. I love it. All right, see you soon.